Alright guys, welcome here to Town Hall Heroes episode 50. I have a strange thing attached to my face. I'm Solid Jake, and this is the new Lost Vikings patch, episode number 50, like we said. Well, let's just... In honor of the Vikings, we wanted to have beards. And,
wanted to have beards.
We got them.
Well, we got them, and... Well, my store might have been closed, so Arts and Craft was enabled, but before we talk about our beautiful beards, let's talk about our beautiful guest, and Mr. Arthelon.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm feeling...
beardy.
Good.
Your beard is the most magnificent thing I've ever
Oh,
laid eyes upon.
Thank you.
Wants to make bets on how long Jake lasts with that thing on.
Oh, it's not gonna
I'm guessing about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not, you can't make the whole show.
You can just take it off, buddy.
So, Arthelon, what's new with you? And for anyone that doesn't know who you are, let us hear a little bit about yourself.
My name is Arthelon. I am a longtime gamer. I formerly played League of Legends on the Challenger level professionally, and I got really sick of it, and Heroes was much better than League, and still is. So I switch over right now, and I'm on Team Tempo Storm, formerly Symbiote Gaming, and we've been a team for like 8 months, 7 months now, for quite a while. And we recently became Tempo Storm about 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks?
Something like that.
Yeah. And here I am with these wonderful people and their beards.
But wonderful people. I don't see any of them anywhere.
Cupus Maximus, the seaweed from the west.
The seaweed from the west. Hey, I spent a long time assembling these pipe cleaners into a majestic beard. All right. So, you want to know what I've been up to?
Yeah.
Patch. That's been a fun time doing some casting. Did some of that yesterday. And then other than that, it's still snowing a lot here all the time. And I just had to shovel. I have 4 feet of snow in my front yard, and I had to shovel a path all the way to the side of my house so that I could get oil. Just so that I could get oil delivered.
You must be ripped.
Oil boys.
God, it was the worst. Jake helped a little bit. Just a little bit.
I did help a little bit. But just a little bit.
Alright, that's it for me.
Gandalf, Gandalf, I mean, it works so well. Gandalf the Brown, do we call you?
Gandalf the Brown is perfect, man. Hi, guys. I love you all. It's good to be back. Town Hall. Episode 50! 50 episodes! That's so freaking crazy. Did you know State of the Game only ever did 100 episodes? We've done half the episodes.
Half of that.
We're gonna wreck them.
We're going to wreck them so hard, but it's cool. Last Vikings are a lot of fun. I've been super busy doing, like, everything Heroes, but Town Hall, man. Hypo.
That's right.
Hypu, indeed, Mr. Sham Bam. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you.
Nothing? This is such a majestic
Is
beard.
that the Moses beard?
I think so. I just went to the Halloween store, and my mustache is falling into my mouth. And I just started looking around, but there was specific Moses' ones. Now I'm just, I don't know. Specific Moses'.
That's not a Moses beard because of copyright issues.
So there's a Halloween store in February?
Yeah, what's the deal with
It's
that?
New York City.
Party City.
Welcome to New York City. The
Oh.
people who work there are the scariest people. Lovely people, but scary people.
People party year-round, guys. Like, you don't just dress up for Halloween. That's not what normal people do. You dress up all the time.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Party City, of
Anyway.
course, closes at 6 p.m. because I'm no longer in the city. And I got there at like 6:12, and I was like, oh, well, this sucks. So Kubi and I put on emergency precautions, and while you
Jake
guys
looks like Squidward right now. Does anyone else see that from SpongeBob? Like, he looks angry like Squidward from SpongeBob.
Oh my god, I see it now. You are
Right?
Squidward. Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
Squidward does. I haven't watched him in a long time. Well,
Just like
guys,
Krabby Patty.
Krabby Patty. We have Blackbeard beer, and it's off the screen, so good for that. Guys, this is of course our 50th episode. Quite a big momentous day for us now. And it's also patch day. Yesterday, of course, the patch notes came out, and we got the Lost Vikings added into the game. You can see my beautiful background with the Vikings doing things. Ooh, what's wrong with this? I gotta fix that. All right, so speaking of the patch notes, just jumping right in, we're going to be diving into the patch notes in pretty darn deep discussion here, and we're going to start off with just straight up the general talents, the generic talents that are kind of across the board, and what you guys think of them. Now, a few things have changed. A few talents have been removed. Swift Storm is no longer in the game, and we can actually switch over to that talent screen here. We can see that Swiftstorm has been wrecked from the game. Rewind has been moved from 13 to 20 and has been removed to some heroes and added to some heroes. And just starting with Rewind, what do you guys think about this change?
Starting with Rewind, that's like, hey, why don't we
That's
just throw
like, yeah,
the
let's-
heaviest one right,
Hey, man.
right out of the gate?
Top to the bottom. Start hard.
Okay. I think for the heroes that relied on their kit, you can't wait till 20, especially if they're like useless up until that point. But for some heroes, it's like kind of a nice thing to have at 20. So I don't know. I still don't think it's the right direction that they should be going with Rewind.
I mean, I think it's like terrible design when like a hero like for instance like Kerrigan, you know, she relied heavily on Rewind. You know, she's got a good kit, but level 13 is when she got a huge power spike and it like really helped her engage. Removing a talent like that having that much of an impact on a hero is like, that's just terrible design. Like, one talent should not make or break a hero, and
Do you
I think moving it to 20 allows you to figure out what heroes need to be tweaked from there.
Do you think the ability needs to be removed altogether?
I don't think so. I think it adds to a lot of fun stuff right now. I mean, we haven't seen enough of it yet at 20, but they added it to a lot of heroes that it wasn't on before, like Reghar and... Are you okay?
Yes.
That looked painful.
That was not fun.
They added to Rhaegar and Zeratul and stuff, which like adds a lot of interesting potential with those heroes, like with what they can do with them. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, so the thing about level 20 talents beforehand was they somewhat changed how you played the hero, but like for the most part they were heroic abilities or something that was a little bit different. Rewind kind of really changes how the hero interacts with other heroes, and I don't like the fact that at level 20, like, almost everything that how your hero interacted with other heroes is almost completely changed. Like, a lot of these heroes, now they have, like, ridiculous amounts of CC or ridiculous amounts of damage, and it just seems like it's just way too late in the game. And for a lot of these heroes, it also tends to... what I'm trying to say is, if you have to rely on that level 20 to get the rewind for your hero to become awesome, you're only going to have a finite number of heroes that are still strong before level 20, and then that become stronger afterwards.
Couldn't agree more.
So you actually create just a smaller list of overpowered heroes. Because at level 20, they just become way stronger. So, you know, like Anub'arak, he sucks without rewind. But after he gets rewind, he's good. However, people like Tassadar, they're strong until 20, and then they just become stronger. I don't even think anybody's going to take rewind on Tassadar.
Nah, Rewinds and Test is not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Quad
Dark
Storm.
Archon too.
But, like...
Zeratul.
Zeratul's
Zeratul's
another
good.
really good one. All you did was just make Zeratul an overpowered pick. Arthas is another good one. He kind of got nerfed pretty hard. But still, if you can double Howling Blast and double Death Coil...
That's okay.
I think double Howling Blast is a really strong thing.
It's nice. I don't know. I don't think they're going to grab that. They're going to need extra goals.
Overall, like, a lot of these heroes, they need rewind in their kit for them to actually do anything, but you can't wait till level 20, so now you just create them only viable after 20, or the select heroes that are viable until 20, they just become overpowered after 20.
Well, that just kind of goes back to what I said before. Like, a hero should not depend solely on one talent. So removing rewind from 13 allows you to realize, oh, this hero really relied on rewind, so now we can tweak them in a way to make them better. Having it at 20, like, all the 20 talents kind of point to, like, what Blizzard's always said about the game. They want games to end quickly. And once you hit 20, if you have an advantage, like a significant advantage going at 20, these talents are absurd. And they're going to help you be able to end even better. Like, they're almost... Like, they're the reverse of Resurgence. Like, Resurgence made you live longer and, like, do dumb things like that. This will help you end quicker. Like, rewind on Zeratul, that's 4 bombs, double cleave. Like, that's insane amounts of burst.
I mean, the fact that you can actually just blink in, cleave, bomb, blink out, rewind, do it again. Like, terrifying. That's actually ridiculous.
You haven't said anything, Arth?
I think if they're going to put rewind at 20, I feel like it shouldn't even be in the game, because at that point, it's like, if you have a level 20 talent, it should be something like really huge and fun, but not just the same base abilities you already have. It should be something new and exciting, like, oh my god, my ult does this now, or like, I have this increased range and attack speed, and it feels awesome. And I feel like rewind doesn't really solve any problems that heroes have, and like Shamsu said, it just makes overpowered heroes even like more overpowered, and it gives maybe bad heroes a chance, but at level 20, it's like you can lose the game so many times before you hit 20.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, I like rewind. Let me put it this way: I like rewind as a thing. When it was level 13, I was happy with it. Like on the heroes that were there, some of those heroes like Brightwing, you need to take it away from them. But like, I think rewind on Anub'arak was pretty great.
okay, well, the rewind to Anub'arak made him incredibly powerful and incredibly frustrating to fight. Same thing on Kerrigan. Same thing on Brightwing. And
It's
it
not
made...
really... It's got more to do with the fact that, like what Jared was saying, if you take the rewind away and there's nothing left, that's a problem.
I don't disagree with that. I think they need to find something to supplement it if the hero is working as, relatively well with rewind, and then they remove rewind and they find, hey, look, no one's playing this hero anymore. Well, yeah, something's wrong. But is rewind in general like an interesting thing? It's exciting to watch a Kerrigan rewind and rewind again, I guess. But wouldn't it be cool if they had something a little bit more unique? That was like a little bit more... So, say Kerrigan has a very specific talent that lets her, spend health to, I don't know, something similar to rewind, but not just... Generic talents in general have always felt kind of weak,
No, I like. I don't
know about
generic
weak.
talents. Yeah, like.
Oh, you mean weak
boring. Yeah,
design-wise.
design-wise.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's no... It's like, okay, they do it again. Cool. Great.
I don't know. I think rewind is actually pretty cool, because I mean, like, if you're sitting on like some heroes, you hit rewind at the exact moment, but sometimes you're trying to go for that rewind combo and it doesn't really work out, and then you hit rewind. Like, there's a huge detriment to your play. I think it's interesting because you get to hit more buttons and you get to do more things.
Yeah.
It's just what heroes that have rewind, and the fact that it hits things that have crowd control, I think, is the biggest issue. Like, if it didn't affect things that were like easily stuns, easy polymorphs, easy everything else, and then rewind those, I think that kind of sucks. But like, if it's like a slow or something, that's okay. But when it's affecting things that are like hard CC, like stuns and roots, then it's like, all right, this is kind of becoming a bit much.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially in a game with no diminishing returns on crowd controls.
Yeah.
Double polymorph is kind of like, whoa, especially when you get critterized.
Now, that's an interesting thing you say, no diminishing returns. What if rewind interrupts last half as long?
But then it's not
Still really good.
And that leans away from things being like really easy to understand that Blizzard likes.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, I think it should go in the other direction in terms of balancing. Like, if rewind's actually a problem, don't try to make the rewind fit into a circle, into a square hole, right? Just try to take the rewind away and balance the heroes otherwise.
That's what happened when I talked to Blizz Johnsy. I said, I like rewind, I feel like you need diminishing returns. He's like, well, then he's like, I don't think we want to implement an entire system. I'm paraphrasing. But basically what he meant was, like, I don't think we should implement an entire system to make one talent like that.
Yeah,
work.
that's a really good point. Overall thoughts on rewind at 20, though? Is it better? Should it stay?
It makes a couple heroes more viable at 20, but up until 20, they're still useless. So they gotta find something else.
Put it on,
yeah,
like an interesting, like Reghar gets it. Like if he still had a root on his totem, that would be good. Like just double root totem, but it doesn't root anymore. It's just a giant slow. Like
yeah, it seems kind of weak at 20.
They just kind of put it on, like, I don't know who else. Like, you got Anub'arak, Arthas, Brightwing, Nova, Malfurion, Muradin, Murky. We'll get to Murky. That's okay. Tassadar, Tyrande, Reghar, Zeratul. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like good on heroes like Tyrande for sure. But you're giving up other things, and I heard there's some issue with Tyrande. She's supposed to have Nexus Frenzy, but she can't actually get it, which is interesting. But we'll get to that a bit later. But Arthelon, what do you feel about the whole rewind ordeal?
I think the main reason they put it at 20 was like so they can get it off of Brightwing and Kerrigan, and then Kerrigan obviously doesn't have it anymore. And I feel like it kind of, I feel like it didn't really do anything except make like Nova and Zeratul just really annoying past 20. Because most of the heroes they gave rewind to, you're not actually gonna take rewind anyways. Like on like Tassadar or probably Arthas or like Reghar, it's questionable. So I'm not sure about the change. Like I said, if they're gonna put it at 20, I feel like they should just remove it and buff the heroes that like really required rewind. Like Uther is a good example. They removed rewind from him from quite a while ago, and it hurt. But you know, Uther's still around, and he's still a really good top pick. And I feel like he could do the same thing with these other heroes.
Do you think Brightwing and Kerrigan will suffer greatly without rewind?
I think Brightwing, she was already falling out of flavor, at least in the NA meta, and this patch she's just completely like gone. I don't think she's ever gonna be like seen again, at least for a while. And then Kerrigan, yeah, she really relied on rewind because as later the game goes on, Kerrigan gets like worse. But at 13, she got like a breath of fresh like air, and like, you know, with the rewind, she became really good at 13. So she mitigated that like getting worse at later levels because she got rewind at 13. And now that she doesn't have it, it'll be kind of tough to play her. You have to be like really good and like not miss her combo at all if you want to play her.
Especially with cleanse too, just like only having one combo. If that gets cleansed, like, well,
why don't you go sit on the sidelines for 10 seconds, come back.
Maybe there's going to be like a new Kerrigan build that really helps her, but I don't see it happening. But we'll see.
Ultralisk.
No, they already tried that and it just didn't work out. Like everybody tried it after like Ultralisk got changed, and even then it still just wasn't working out.
All right, well, moving on, we can also see that Swiftstorm was removed, and they added a bunch of new level 20 talents that are available on a variety of heroes. Now, Fear of the Storm is a talent that already existed. They've kind of reworked the way it is, and Fear of the Storm now, it's kind of a specialist talent where every 5 seconds you do an additional 200 damage to your primary target and then 500 to minions and mercs around it. That's cool, that's great, but the bigger ones, they gave something to tanks. They gave tanks, which recently lost Resurgence, they gave them Hardened Shield. And,
except ETC. Whoops.
Yeah, that's... it says he has it, but he doesn't have it in game.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
Rip. But on that note, Hardened Shield, what are your guys' thoughts on the ability? That's 75% damage reduction for 4 seconds.
Arth used it on Sonya earlier today, and he still got wrecked. So it doesn't help Barb get better.
Yeah, Barb's trash.
Barb is, I'll go into Barb.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I will have a whole 5 minutes.
I really like the concept of Hardened Shield. It might be a little bit too powerful, but it really synergizes well with the supports because it lets the supports know that, oh yeah, they're getting really low, and they're not going to die right now, but they're going to need heals after the shield goes down. And it's like, it's really good with ancestral healing because it's like you get down to 10% and you can pop that shield in and you're still not going to die because at that point it's like you have 40% health still, and ancestral will get you back to full. And it's a really good talent for tanks, but I think it might make a couple too strong, but we'll see.
Care to elaborate on who you think might be too strong?
ETC.
Like maybe Stitches. I don't think ETC has it right now.
Really?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, right, because ETC. I'm thinking like if ETC does have it,
I think even
but
then
Bolt
would
dances.
still be better.
Yeah, Bolt dances.
Yeah, Bolt dances are true. Yeah.
That's the thing. I was thinking that for Stitches too. I was like, oh, it'd be pretty good on Stitches, because then you could, if you were using Bile, then you could throw that on Bile at the same time. But then Bolt Gorge is also silly good.
But it's good to have options. It's good to have flexibility.
I agree with that. I don't know how much it's actually going to get used. I'm looking at some of these heroes. I'm not quite sure that they want to give up some of the utility talents that they have at those levels.
Dude,
that's the cool thing, though. There's an option now.
Yeah, Gazlo, totally going to be rocking that.
Got to get that replacement for Swiftstorm in, and that was the obvious choice.
Oh, yeah. Of course, he has Fear of the Storm as well as an option.
Even better.
So looking at the other talents here, Nexus Frenzy, that's probably the biggest one. When it comes to just when you think about some of these heroes like Sergeant Hammer and the way it's going to affect the game.
Yeah. Sergeant Hammer is really, really strong now with
Yeah.
Nexus Frenzy.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't like. Jaina, are you freaking kidding me?
I haven't tried it yet. Is she good with it?
No.
Because
Tychus is hilarious.
She has no auto attack damage.
Okay, Tychus,
That's
it's
terrible.
Yeah.
because it works with Odin, so that's pretty sick. Vala, I
Yeah.
haven't messed around with too much yet, but I've seen some teams trying to adapt into a new auto attack.
Not worth it
style.
on Vala Arth? You're shaking your head.
No, multi-shot is still going to be much better.
Okay.
I think auto attack is just not good, and it's not going to be good.
Flavor of the week.
Because, yeah, it's just like auto attack had just not been good for a while. I don't think that level 20 talent's going to fix anything.
It is a long time to wait for your auto attacks to become like safe to use, almost like because
Yeah.
you have to get so close to use them. Even like to even get enough shots off to get the full bonus out of her trait, it's tough without dying, etc. So we'll see.
I just want to, I mean, I don't want to go super deep into Vala right now, but one thing we're starting to see pop up is we're seeing, this is kind of like an esports discussion, but I can't hold it. I can't hold it.
I can't.
We're seeing a lot of double support, and one of the things teams are trying to do is they're trying to pull out a lot of single target DPS. You don't think that Vala style is worth trying to do for that kind of composition to try to counter it?
It's bad.
The beards are shit.
AA is not. AA is an auto attack. I don't think the auto attack Vala does enough single target damage that quickly. Like in that case, wouldn't you want to be doing burst single target damage?
Yeah, and she has to overextend auto attack, and like even when they're like, I've seen Vala stride against like extra tanky compositions and stuff, like with going giant killer and stuff, and it's still just like it's not worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want more single target damage, pick a different hero.
Arth,
I
you agree?
think-
Yeah.
I think she has just as much single target damage if you're attacking with battle momentum and constant multi-shots. So, yeah,
Okay.
don't go
Yeah.
auto attack.
Arthelon has spoken. And last but not least, we have Nexus Blades here. That's the 20% damage and 20% slow for 1 second found in Illidan, Kerrigan, Sonya, Thrall, Tyrael, and Zeratul.
Maybe Elodin will take this. Otherwise, no.
Global Hunt.
Stop.
Stop.
I'm actually extremely happy that Blizzard did this because for a long time, I was like, why do these heroes have Fury of the Storm? This is completely
Yeah.
worthless talent. They're never going
It's
to
a
take
better
it.
replacement. Yes, I agree.
So even if some of these talents aren't very balanced or good, I really love that Blizzard went this direction with these powerful level 20 options. Because before it's like, you're going to get Swift Storm at 20, watch out.
Yeah, I
That
did
guy
feel like
gets
that
mounted.
for some heroes, the power spike wasn't that impactful or almost not impactful at 20, and then some heroes just got ridiculous. So I think that this is a really nice step to sort of even that playing field so that everyone's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think overall they're
Guys, what do you think about the new Fury of the Storm? It looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, right. But it's
It's at least better than the other one, and I'm
That's
happy
true.
about
Yeah,
that.
it is.
That is true.
I'm not sure how good it is.
I
really
like
tried
the
it.
idea of it on Vikings, because if that is multiplied by 3, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be
well,
crazy.
I mean, okay, at level 20 on the Zebo, it basically one shot the entire wave, so you wouldn't need 3 of it.
Well, think of those bruiser camps melting.
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
All right, going down the line, call down Mule. Kev, this is
Oh,
your
geez.
territory.
Kev, take it away.
Oh, guys, they took the town hall strat of getting 2 mules to fix Sky Temple, and they got rid of it. It sucks. They reduced the duration by 20 seconds, and they added the cooldown to stay at 60. I mean, it's nice that it restores ammunition more quickly now, because that is like one of the biggest problems I think right now with a lot of pushing lanes.
Yep.
But
Not feeling it, Kev. You're not happy.
my life is gone.
I think it's a great change.
Jared
I
likes it.
think
There
they
were
need-
times on Lost, like on Sky Temple, not just time, like it's consistently a thing on Sky Temple where you draft to make sure you have a mule. Sometimes making sure you have 2 mules because it's that strong on that.
Right.
map.
We've,
Like a single talent shouldn't have that much impact on a map.
Why not?
It's because
Because it's silly.
that's poor game design.
That's a poor game design. It creates a part of drafting where you have to go back and forth and be like, do we want this hero or do we want to have to get Mule?
Right.
Not only that, but you also have to think, all right, well, we also have to throw away one of our talents at level 7 so that we can survive longer on this map.
right.
I
I
think
mean,
it creates a really good strategic, like, balance.
strategic about going double Mule on Sky Temple.
I don't think
that's
double
just-
Mule is good, but I think still having the single Mule, which is still there with this version of Mule, is good. I think it's a good initiative with this change, honestly. The double Mule thing is like, it's cute, but it also goes against the philosophy that this game should have a shorter game length, and it stalls out games. And,
Yeah, this is a great change. I love this change.
That's
Mule.
that. Based on that alone, I mean, we had that one game with Tempo Storm versus Maelstrom where they went double Mule. That game was far longer than it should have been. That game was, like, I mean, do you remember that? The first patch on Sky Temple?
Yeah, I remember that game.
That was probably the longest Sky Temple game I've ever seen.
We didn't really notice they had 2 mules though, to be honest. I feel like the game ended. Like I think it would have ended like 1 shrine earlier, but that's it. If they didn't have those 2 mules.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
When a building dies, when a mule's healing it, it like kills it off. So
only a main building, and
towers. Well,
actually, then that's changed because I was actually watching that today, so that has changed in this patch.
What?
I don't know.
So they made
I
it
was
only
watching
forts?
the mules. I don't know. That's something we'll have to play test, but I did in fact watch a building die and my mule switch targets today. So, and it was a tower.
Cool.
So that's a bug that existed and they fixed. Gathering power has been nerfed pretty hard here.
Nazebo unplayable. Calling it.
Let's see.
Wow.
Unplayable. Wow.
Just kidding.
Bold
Just
statement.
kidding. Just kidding.
Well, gathering power, of course, it's just been the base amount has been reduced, and then the amount you get for each bonus has been reduced as well, or the maximum ability power bonus reduced by from 20 to 15%. Ice block ability cooldowns will continue to run, and persistent auras will continue to take effect. That's a buff.
Yeah, Ice Block got a major buff.
Yeah.
It needed that though. It was really dumb
Yeah.
that your abilities went on cooldown when you, and it wasn't cancelable. It's like you
Yeah.
can't have it not be cancelable and not have your cooldowns go off
Like-
either.
Ice Block's actually like a valid choice on Malfurion, especially now that like the talents have been changed. And like when you cast Tranquility and Ice Block, Tranquility doesn't persist through that. That's like, well, I can't Ice Block right now, or my team's gonna die. Even though I need to save myself with Ice Block, like that's just a good change. I like it.
I think Ice Block. I think that's a really good change because, oh, I had a really good point. I totally just lost it. Never mind. Come back to me.
It's okay, Kev.
Regen Master. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Regen Master.
Regen Master. Well, Regen Master got a slight buff across the board.
That's a
Four
massive buff.
base HP regen is a lot. That's
Oh.
a lot.
That's a
For
ton.
early game, you start with like 3 or something, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And it basically doubles it immediately. Whether people are gonna grab that still, I don't know. It's hard to say because everything is sort of leaning towards like if you're gonna take talents that heal you, it's got to be some kind of burst-ish heal. So like first aid, you get that HP over a couple seconds. Stone skin is right away. This is like, yeah, you're going to be able to sustain yourself in lane longer, but is that really going to be impactful later on in the game when like you need to go for those important objectives and there's a huge team fight? Like how much does Regen Master actually help you during that fight? Hard to say.
A ton. I had like 6 stacks and it was like plus 30 HP a second. It was awesome.
And then you get hit by one ability, and it does like 500
Ability,
damage.
no,
You're like,
auto attack. Just really
Yeah, you have
there you
to-
go.
Yeah.
You have
So-
to compare your HP regen to like the average auto attack you're gonna take. So it's like if you have 30 HP per second and people are hitting you for 200, it's like it takes 7 seconds to regen an auto attack you just took. So it's kind of like it's not very good unless you get like big stacks, which doesn't usually happen.
So Regen Master, maybe not going to be a common pick. What about someone like Chen, who's sitting there drinking brew constantly, standing still, gaining those shields? Would Regen Master, you think that could
See-
bring Chen back into play?
The problem is you said what about Chen, and there's just not much discussion to say about Chen, so that's my thoughts on that.
Not sure what this Chen character you speak
Yeah,
of
who is Chen?
Is he new? Is he? Are they developing him or?
Yeah, he's coming
Soon to
out
be
in a few
added.
patches, I think.
Soon TM.
Rip Chen. All right, well, we're going to jump into the actual hero discussion now, and we're just going to go straight down the line. Abathur. Boom, bam. Monstrosity. Still worthless? Yes? No?
No, it's like, well, I mean, Abathur is probably still worthless, but Monstrosity's much better.
It is much better. I played
It's
with him
considerably
for the first time
better.
today. Yeah.
It needed something, and this
Yeah.
is definitely a step in the right direction.
Do you think we'll see any Abathur play at all anytime soon?
I don't think so.
Unless someone comes up with something like creative, mind blowing. I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe more time will tell, but I don't see Abathur being that good.
All right. Next on the chopping block is a bug, Anub'arak.
Kev's shaking his head. He's like, I already used this joke like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
What, was that a joke?
Yeah, it's a bug.
He's a bug.
I'll tell you what's bugged. These patch notes.
I didn't make a pun. I just said it's a bug.
They nerfed,
All right, whatever.
They nerfed him. Why'd they nerf him? He's already down.
He's already down.
Because he gets
Actually, no. Actually, so here's an
rewind
interesting thing: is that he's got a really high win percentage in ranked
Okay.
against like newbies and whatnot.
On Hot Slogs, yeah.
Yeah.
You look at that, and I was like, why is he still high up there? It's because actually no one plays him.
No,
They just figured it out really fast, like, oh, and then he gets played like 10 games a week in Hero League.
He's a lot of people are still.
That's just how it is. I'm sorry.
He's still very difficult for people to deal with because like he pops up in the middle of the team and then he starts doing things, and like I think. And I was playing him last night, and I was playing in like lower MMR, playing with like friends who are don't have that many games in, and like nobody would target me down. I was like, this is great, this is awesome. I have burning rage on and everything else, and locust form. Nobody focuses you down. But if you get to any higher level, especially competitive, as soon as the Anub'arak goes in and he does his burrow charge in, you're like, okay, he doesn't have an escape now, kill him. So that's why, like, I think just up until probably the top 20 or top 80 percentile of us, nobody actually knows how to deal with him. So he actually still does a lot of work.
Well,
I mean,
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I mean, I'm not saying he's a good hero. I'm not saying it at all.
okay, so just to preface anyone that doesn't watch competitive heroes, this past week we actually did happen to see some Anub'arak. Just last night we saw Anub'arak paired with Kerrigan. It was a very interesting composition where they used the double stuns from Kerrigan, the double stuns from Anub'arak. They even went with the Howling Blast on Arthas and the stun there on Uther. So they had a full-on lockdown comp. How did it fare for them? They won a game.
Who did this?
barely. Verlox Inc. used it. So I mean, like Jake was saying, they sort of strung together a bunch of early game CC to kind of make him viable early game until he got web wrap, and it was they were kind of using it as a counter to Reghar, so that he was stuck in the web, so that he couldn't cast ancestral healing on whatever target they were blowing up. Which I get it, kind of makes sense, but I think it's just still a little bit far off from being in the meta. Like maybe you'll catch a team off guard with it, but I see the theory there. I still wasn't it still didn't look super solid unless you get the exact right team comp to run it.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, it was
but
nice...
and it's just like, okay, that composition would work better with Muradin if he still had rewind. So I guess they wanted the double stun available from Burrow Charge, but I still think Muradin would be better. Kev,
you
thrown in the towel.
weakling!
Sorry,
You
it's killing
child.
me. It's killing
Count it
me.
out.
It's killing me.
Arthas so
Had to take off the beard.
Kobe,
So
me
who's
versus you now.
Yeah, who's
the
betting?
next bout?
Who's the
Back
last
out,
man
man.
standing?
Yeah.
I got $5 on that.
I wore this
Sonya.
the other day for like 3 hours, and then ordered some pizza, forgot it was on, and then opened the door with this thing on. So
And then ate the pizza while wearing it. Don't forget about that part.
Ate some of the pizza while wearing it, and that was just a mistake. That was just terrible.
All
right,
what are
so-
your thoughts?
I mean, so to get back to Anub'arak, I think Web Blast is an interesting idea, but I find that I don't know. I don't really like how it works in battle. I find it really annoying more than anything else because you can't actually damage the person while they're stunned. I mean, granted, an 8-second stun would be ridiculous. I don't know. I don't really like how it works in battle because I feel like it just
like a single void prison, right?
yeah. It's like a single void prison. It really is.
It's single void
what
prison
it's
or Mega
designed to
Poly.
do. That's not like it's not.
I would rather void prison.
But it's got a different
not
use
like
because
this.
it has different effectiveness. Because Void Prison will not interrupt Ravenous Spirit. This will flat out cancel Ravenous Spirit, but then single out that target. So it has its other benefits that Void Prison doesn't have. Yes, this can be destroyed if the enemy team does decide to focus down the Web Blast. But it was a cool idea, and I don't know if the best use is to try to stall out the Ancestral. I really don't know if that's the best use for it. I think using it on Ravenous is a great idea because it's a pretty long cast range, or even just like Strafe or something.
Yeah, but even then, a smart team has Ravenous going on in the back of their team, right? So then you have to have your Anub'arak go into the middle of the team again. Like this is that's the issue I have with it.
Actually, the
Is
range
that-
on it is surprisingly
It's
long.
long. It's
Yeah.
Pretty
Is it?
big.
Oh,
It's
It's
pretty
got
big
a-
range.
I've used it in so long.
The fact
Maybe
that you
it-
can just
may-
like target somebody with it.
Maybe the same range as like the unupgraded Impale, like the max range of that. It's about that.
Yeah.
It's long.
It's pretty decent. Like you don't have to be super. I mean, yeah, you're still going to expose yourself, but you could walk forward, throw the web blast down, and then burrow charge back. Like that's a possibility, and you're not going to die
All
necessarily.
right, real quick, we're gonna put Blizzard on blast in the spectator client of Heroes of the Storm. When any hero in the game gets hit by web blast,
Oh yeah.
everyone or the spectator client hears the sound that you're trapped in the web blast. So it's all like, it sounds like you're underwater or something. It sounds
Oh, that's
awful. So
It's funny. We're like, oh, okay, all right.
Don't
someone got
blame
web
them
blast.
for that. They weren't expecting people to play that hero, let alone.
Why do you think they're nerfing him? Like,
I don't know how to fix this audio bug. Let's just get into the ground.
this audio bug.
God.
Yeah, so Burrow Charge got nerfed, and they nerfed his. Well, the hardened carapace lasts longer and does less shielding, and the stun duration was reduced on Impale. So overall, they made his Locust work or do more. The Locust Needle's talent damage increased from 35 to 50%. That's a lot.
That's just like the AOE auto attack.
Yeah, the AoE. Yeah.
Or no one takes that.
But
No, EU takes it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, EU took it.
the Tony talent?
Yeah, it's level 4, isn't it? Oh no, it's Legion of Beetles. Sorry, they were taking Legion of
Oh.
Beetles.
Oh, I can understand. Like maybe
Yeah,
understand.
that one. I think that one's good.
Yeah, that one's good.
Splash damage,
No, I'm sorry. I thought it was... The splash damage?
That's what that talent is. It's splash damage for auto attacks.
now, Coops, you had a bone to pick with the Beatles.
The Beatles. Oh, I mean that's just the same complaint we've always had. Why is the AI just so ridiculous? Why is it that when you're on like a temple trying to like cap the temple and you spawn a beetle, it just runs to the lane? It's like
Instead of fighting the minions at the temple, yeah.
I mean, but we've been talking about that for a long time. They'll get to it eventually, but that I think until that happens, beetle builds will not be viable, and we'll see what happens with this web blast stuff. But I don't know. Arth,
Maybe.
I'm curious.
Maybe
Have you
with
guys
Rewind
messed
back
around
there
with
at level 20, I mean...
No, we'll see. All right, here's the problem. I mean, clearly Locust Swarm is like, yeah, if you could have Rewind to burrow in, use your Locust Swarm to like stay alive, do a ton of damage, and then Rewind to get out, that's fine. But good luck getting to level 20 without being ridiculously far behind, like while running Locust Swarm. I think the only way you're getting to 20 is by making some use of Web Blast, and then it's like Rewind's, I don't know.
Rewind's eh?
I mean, it's good, but it's like having.
The whole point was being able to dash in, use Locust Swarm to do a ton of damage and stay alive, and then at the last second rewind to get back out. But now you can't. You can go in, throw some stuns down, and then leave. That's all you can do. That's not really like that's not that impactful.
Yeah. Arth?
It's nice to have 2 sets of stuns, but.
I think Anub'arak, I'm not gonna count him out. I think there's definitely a style that he can be played as, and I think he will have a role, but I don't think he's gonna be like consistently picked. But we'll see.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I think it'll be a last pick, kind of like, this kind of fits against what they have, and they don't have anything that like counters him directly, so we'll grab it here, type of thing. We'll see though. I'm excited. I hope people do play him more. I hope people do find a spot for him, but I don't know. I'm like kind of 50-50 on it at this point. I wasn't super convinced from Murloc Inc.'s play. Like it has a theory that works, but we'll have to see more of it to see if it's actually viable.
Well, as I spaced out for a brief moment, let's talk about the Lich King himself, Arthas, receiving quite a few changes. Now, when Venom has been removed, I mean, this competitively, that's the go-to. That's the go-to talent in the competitive scene. Personally, I always thought it was kind of a weird talent on him. So, yeah, I'm good with this change, personally. Frozen Wastes moved from 1 to 4, and then Eternal Hunter. Not Hunger. Hunter, it says here. I think it's Hunger, but they wrote Hunter.
It is. It's Hunger.
I know.
It's Frostborn, man.
Right, Eternal Hunter moved from 4 to 1. They nerfed Rune Tap by 1%. They gave him Obliterate increases the search radius. What is Obliterate?
That's
We
the
talked
area
about
damage
this.
on your passive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so every time you use
I get-
Frostborn Hungers, it does area damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they did some mana swapping around. Less mana on Death Coral, less mana on Howling Blast, increased mana on Frozen Tempest, but Frozen Tempest now has an increased search radius. Summon Syndragosa got buffed. Army of the Dead got wrecked.
I want to ask you something.
Tweak down.
Do you guys recognize this date? February 4th, 2010. That was the world's first kill on Arthas. The very first time the Lich King died. Today is the second time. He is dead. He is gone.
Jared was ready for this.
Ruined. He is no more. Lich King Rip Rooney Dooney, Part 2.
Now,
Father,
Well done.
is it over? No king lasts forever, my son.
so just looking at the quotes, we're looking at the initial ghoul heal reduced from 150 to 104. That's a sizable difference. And the scaling reduced from 30 to 24. So the ghouls have been nerfed pretty hard, but do you think that part of this is due to maybe some scaling they did based on Hardened Shield at 20? Maybe they said, look, if you grab Hardened Shield and you grab these ghouls, he just pops Arm of the Dead after he pops Hardened Shield, and he's actually impossible to kill.
For 4 seconds.
Well, that's enough time for him to start eating his ghouls.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. I think it gives you an interesting choice between taking the extra ghouls and the Hardened Shield, which is good. There's going to be some situations, some team comps that you use it against, some that you won't. That's fine. I mean, Arthas has kind of been overdue for a little bit of a down tweaking for some time now.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is too much in this direction. We'll have to see. But I'm okay with testing it out. I think that they've been... we're always like, kicking Blizzard and be like, hey, you did too much of a nerf here, way too much. But like they've been very slightly tweaking Arthas, like just a little bit more mana cost for his Frozen Tempest, or just the small thing here and there. We've been waiting for this big one.
Yep.
For a while.
Yeah,
I think it's due.
I actually really enjoy what Blizzard does with heroes that are like really good or really powerful. They usually don't like obliterate them, but they do these small tweaks. And Arthas has been so good for so long. Yeah, I got that. And
Yeah, I got that.
and
That was a talented joke there.
Oh god.
he's been good for so long that a little rework like this has been due for quite a while. And I think they didn't do anything extreme, and they'll be looking at stuff. And I think it's really nice just to see this.
Passar's perfect example. How many times has he been reworked over the years?
Over the years.
Over the year, how many times has he been reworked? He's been nerfed, like I guess 4 or 5 different patches.
Yeah.
And he's still a top tier pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Arthas is still good. He's not gonna be bad.
However, they're balancing changes for heroes that are bad.
Oh, we'll get to that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Now,
We'll get there.
Arth,
Questionable stuff.
Arth, you think that Arthas is still in a good spot for competitive?
We will see. Like, this is a lot of changes, so it's going to take at least a little bit to see where he's at. I think Stitches and ETC will definitely be stronger than him, at least, though.
Okay. I don't think anybody would argue with that. Moving down to the Fairy Dragon.
Buttwing.
Brightwing. Buttwing, as Jared says, they reduced her health. They reduced her health scaling. They removed Rewind, and they put that to 20. Bolt of the Storm no longer available on her. Phase Shift received a nerf. I thought this happened a while ago, unless they nerfed it again. Maybe it used to be shorter.
I think it used to be 20 seconds.
20 seconds, and then it's 30.
Oh, jeez. Now it's
45.
45, which is a big
That's a
nerf.
big one.
And then, but they of course, buffed the shield scaling from Phase Shift. Now, mana cost increased on Poly. All right, Pixie Dust got nerfed pretty hard, though.
Who cares? This is a huge nerf to Brightwing. Like, she was already, even Lily was probably seeing more play than her in the NA meta right now. Like, this is...
I don't know if
45
that's fair
seconds
to
on
say.
phase shift is
Or Brightwing.
yeah, this is done for.
Maybe in scrims that you guys are seeing, but not
Not in competitive,
yet.
not in
Hadn't
tournaments,
seen that yet.
not in NA. And
Right wing was still picked almost every
significantly more.
Oh,
often.
they're doing it wrong, because you should not be picking her.
game. Not now. No, I'm saying
Not in this patch.
Oh,
Talking last
yeah.
patch.
Patch
Last
before.
patch. But yeah, removing Rewind, nerfing Pixie Dust hard, and increasing the cost on Poly. That's so. Verdict says rip. I mean, everybody's it's grim in here.
This is a huge, this is across the board, everything just getting wrecked. I don't know, man. This is bad.
I don't see what the issue with Pixie Dust was. I don't see.
I thought that was shocking.
Her biggest issue was polymorph. I don't.
That's
She
true.
lost rewind. All the V's changes.
If they just remove Rewind,
That's
maybe she'd be okay.
ridiculous.
Maybe she'd be okay. But nerfing her mobility, nerfing Pixie Dust.
I think the base health is the biggest thing, because she was already, not that
Squishy.
tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true too, but
And that's a double nerf because not only are you now just less tanky, but now you can't even go back as much to go reheal and then come back into lane
right.
or
Well,
go back into
that's
battle.
probably
either.
why they did that.
Well, it's a.
Well, you never really backed for health. You always backed for mana because
Yeah, well,
at 5
that's
seconds,
true.
it's always on you. Like, you're usually never gonna have to back for health.
I can't tell if Corey's smiling or just like sitting there.
I think he's
Just-
smiling.
Just chilling.
Kubi just resubbed 4 months in a row. Thanks, Kubi.
What? I just want to get the notification.
Go, he turns those things off, man. Come on.
During the show, yeah, it's completely muted, unfortunately. So looking
Corey.
down at Chen,
Wrecked
he
Chen.
got nerfed too.
Oh, Chen.
I mean,
Across
You
the
didn't see
board.
my hands.
he's just. I mean, there's a lot of talent swapping. His basic attack speed went up a little bit. Sure, that's great. But the talent swapping effectively nerfed him. You can't get chugged till later in the game. You can't get the pressure point kick, or is that what it's called? The rooting kick.
Yeah, it's pressure point. Yeah,
Pressure
flying
point.
kick's the ability.
You can't get that until level 16. From 7 to 16, Chug
Chug
used to be
is-
level 4. Got put on what?
Yeah,
13.
Chug is whatever. It's a nice talent
4
to
to
have
16?
for-
No, 16 and Chug and pressure
Yeah,
point
yeah,
in the same
the
tier.
problem is-
All right, goodbye, Chen.
Yeah. No, the actual big issue is having flying kick moved to 16. That's way too late.
The pressure
Wait.
point, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And Chug too. Chug is crucial to be able to continue to combo
Yeah,
in.
Chug's pretty nice.
I don't know. Rip, right?
Yeah, they moved every single one of his good talents to 16. And now you have to choose between 1 and 3. And the 200% got nerfed to 100%. So it's like, I don't even know.
Even when he was like picked a lot, he already had a weak early game. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it's just like, well, cool.
But I'm honestly happy because playing a range versus Chen is really annoying. And I won't miss him. I haven't missed him.
Rip Chen.
Sham Tam, tell me about this guy. Oh goodness.
His name is Dibbles. He got a base scale and attack damage buff. It's great. He does.
What just happened?
Somewhat
I
damage.
don't know. It
man.
went to like a strange accent.
Yeah,
Is that Dibble's accent or
I don't know.
it just happened?
That's what I think of Diablo.
No, he's so much better now. Everybody's like, oh man, Q and E got buffed. They got fixed. Everybody's saying that they're different from they were before, but as a resident Diablo expert,
The only
What a
one, by
title!
the
What a
way.
title!
the international Diablo expert. He just feels like he used to be. The W Fire Stomp nerf, this is weird for me to say, was deserved.
Okay.
But the issue why it's deserved is because of Firestorm at level 16, in which his damage spikes just ridiculously, and especially with Firestorm, and if you move it all with 10 spikes or 10 flames going out, it's impossible to dodge all of those.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Unless you have
It's-
both.
Impossible. No, well, yeah, unless you completely get off the screen of where Diablo was.
Lost Vikings can use jump.
Yeah.
You can use
I guess-
Okay, all right. I guess
If you're
a lot of
invulnerable.
heroes have some.
Faustin can fly
Invulnerable
away.
is some.
Lost
He can
that-
fly away.
Whatever.
From fire.
Anyway.
Brightwing can phase shift. You know, there's plenty of options.
Chen could just chug.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
Chen needs to
Actually,
chug.
that's not dodging the damage though. That's still taking damage. It just goes through a shield. Anyway, yeah. So Firestomp, I think a lot of people are saying it needs a damage buff. The problem with Firestomp is it's so fickle. Like it's basically screen wide damage, and if you buff it a little bit too much, then it's just free like ridiculous amounts of sustained damage. And so it's a really weird thing. I honestly think they just need to get rid of Firestomp.
But it's so iconic.
What would they give him,
is.
Kev? What would they give him?
I am kind of in the camp where I say that they give him something like Bone Prison for heroic, and they
Lightning
give
Breath
him
as an
Lightning
ability?
Breath for his W.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I think Diablo's problem is his Q and his E, not his W. Like,
Really? I think his Q
I
and E
feel like-
are like the best part of his kit.
Yeah, but they're just so generic and like they are so one-dimensional. And it's not like they do damage.
Double interrupt, dude.
Yeah, but
I can see how they're one dimensional, but I think in a game like this, I don't know. I haven't really played Dota enough, but I don't know. In a game where there's so much body blocking involved, like I could see in like League of Legends, yeah, Q and E would be like so boring. But in a game with body blocking, I just love Q and E because it sets you up to body block, and then it's like then it becomes an actual like mechanics
that's
game.
true. You catch somebody in the bad place around the turn-in on Blackheart's Bay, and you knock them into that little area on the bottom, and you just get your teammate in and you lock them down.
If you get
sack lunch. It's a sack
if you
lunch.
get your Q and then your E, and then you're in a perfect position to start body blocking as long as they've used their escape. So you have to be really careful on how you use your CC with Diablo. But I don't really find it to be that one-dimensional, especially because there's so many different ways you can use it, and especially because it's on such a long cooldown, you have to be really careful on how you use it.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I can see your point, but at the same time, I really like Diablo, like being able to charge people and throw people over his back and be a scary wrestler. Because that's what all he is. He's a glorified wrestler.
So we know there's a Diablo rework coming. Do you guys think this is the rework? Because this is just like a tuning. This is a tuning.
This is a tuning.
Yeah. Okay, so we should still be expecting a rework.
This is not a rework. This is just a tribute.
Well, if it's getting a rework, why would they fix everything if you're just going to change it anyway?
Because these are like basic changes. These aren't like massive changes at all. Like they just had to fix what Shadow Charge and Overpower had before this patch.
Yeah.
Until they can get that rework out. I'm sure they haven't finished this rework at all. Whatever the hell the rework is, because
well, they always do that.
Johnsy's been alluding to this rework being like game changing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will see when the time comes. But Diablo still probably not going to see a lot of play. Who knows? Maybe now that he's actually consistent with the knockback on the Shadow Charge, people will play him. But time will tell there. But if you guys haven't played him yet, he does feel a lot better, just the way he handles. They did a really good job making the Shadow Charge and the flip just feel a lot better.
Yeah, there's this
Kept
thing
spiking
called...
his
You know what
knuckles.
else happened today? You meditate, take them. They used them and they won.
Did they use him today? I didn't actually catch the games.
Yeah, they used them in a game. They took him, I think, a second game and he didn't win. That's because I think they chose.
EU won a game with Gargantuan. Like there was a game where someone won with that talent. I don't.
No,
okay, Anub'arak was on the opposing team, Jared. Anub'arak was on the opposing team, so.
Okay.
Gargantuan.
Then don't pick Nazebo. Or still go Ravenous.
They had a lot
Let's
of stuns
just,
in that game.
let's just not talk about EU. How about that?
Wow. Sophia.
Okay.
I love watching EU.
I do too. They
use
do a lot
so
of cool
many
stuff.
different heroes. Like I feel like they're gonna burst out Murky like soon. It's gonna be hilarious.
No.
Anyway,
we tried the Murky and it didn't.
Yes, we did.
All right.
We did.
I think Diablo's back up to tier 1. I'm gonna say it right now, but I always say that. But anyway, that's good. Let's go to Illidan. Illidan got that thing removed.
No
okay,
executioner.
Cool. Let's go to
Okay.
Kerrigan.
Yep. Kerrigan. Now Kerrigan lost executioner. She lost rewind. Period. She just lost it. It doesn't even say it here, but she doesn't have it at all. Doesn't even have
She
it
can't
at 20.
even find it.
She can't even. It's gone. It's in that couch cushion. So yeah, they made some changes here. The heal from this talent, siphoning impact, is doubled. The impaling blades is scales higher, but it starts lower, so our early game is weaker. And psionic pulse, they buffed that, the damage
Thank
from psionic
God.
pulse.
When I saw that talent, I thought it was per second. I was like, oh, that's decent. Then I said over 5 seconds. Oh. Never mind.
So any thoughts on Kerrigan?
Rip.
She's gonna be in a rough spot without rewind, but I feel like there's a build or something out there that'll work in its place, but we'll see. Someone has to find it.
Someone has to find it. Will it be Tempo Storm?
No.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
No, Zong's obsessed over the Vikings right now, so
Oh, that's good to hear.
probably gave up Kerrigan.
Balrog is like one of the Vikings.
Yeah.
He's basically Eric.
So
He's basically Eric.
And short.
Definitely Eric.
just a real quick shout out to everyone in the chat watching live right now. Allison is in the chat raffling out keys. Just make sure you guys take part in that raffle. If you're looking to get access to Heroes of the Storm, just type !raffle. But moving on to Muradin.
Awful.
Muradin.
Muradin.
I mean, yeah, Sledgehammer now works on Mercs. That's cool. Casting time and Haymaker, it's a little bit easier to get off. That's good. But he lost rewind.
Yeah, and it's funny because they didn't actually
Yeah.
say that it got moved. I think they should have. I mean, I know they said it earlier, but I think they should say it again just for clarification's sake.
I actually think the rewind change is good for Muradin because
Muradin.
Level 20, he didn't really have any good options. So now he has rewind as a really good option at 20, but the issue is his 13 talents aren't very good. So he didn't actually gain that much.
What are his 13 talents?
Burning Rage, he has 2 Thunderclap, and then he has Spell Shield.
Oh, the Thunderclap, the heal 1.5% for each.
The heal one, and then there's like the 300% damage if it hits one, I think, person.
I like the healing static one,
I think
kind
that's
of.
one the people have been going for. In its stead.
I think Burning Rage isn't too bad on him because he doesn't have that like good wave clear, and you're usually like humping somebody during a team fight, so you can get some good ticks off.
He's normally in the middle of like the fight, so
yeah.
You know, if you're humping somebody, you might as well give them some sort of Burning Rage.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like that is a pretty huge nerf. I mean, that was like the great thing about Muradin was the.
If you're humping someone, you might as well have Burning Rage.
Give them Burning Rage.
Give them Burning Rage. The quotes of Shambam. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyway.
Hello, everyone on the front page. Thanks for tuning in.
Cat, stop.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I feel like 13, like the rewind was almost like completely necessary because you needed to get in, you needed to get out, you needed to use leap, you needed to get the double stun because his stuns really aren't that long in duration. So I don't know. I feel like it's a massive nerf until level 20.
Why does Muradin have the Dota 2 logo on his hammer? You guys see that?
Is that the Dota 2?
It looks pretty much like it.
Quit it, Kubi.
Kubi's just done. Kubi's actually done.
What?
Alright, so real talk though, Burning Rage, the go-to? In the bedroom and for Muradin?
I think unless you got like one of the other Thunderclap talents that like reduces his cooldown, then yeah, I think Burning Rage is the way to go.
Okay.
I would go with the heal.
Cham likes to heal.
Is it my turn yet to go
Yes.
Well,
crazy?
Shem likes Diablo, so take what he says lightly.
Wow. The call-outs. Jared.
All right, so I know we all have this kind of cousin. You know, they're kind of spacey. They do their own thing. They're not very smart. They're not very strong. They're just kind of like their own. They're that cousin, you know, like cousin Jerry, whatever you want to call them. They're really just not. They're on their own and they need help.
Shout out to Cousin Jerry.
So what do? You go to cousin Jerry. You have them work out, get stronger. You send them to school. You make them smarter.
What are you?
That's what
Mom?
you're supposed to do.
Where are we going?
You're not supposed
okay,
to
just give us time.
Hadouken them in the face and just ruin their life. That is what Blizzard did to Murky. He was bad.
We haven't
never
even got to
played.
Murky yet. Okay.
No, we're there.
Okay, we're
Oh,
at
there.
Murky apparently.
We're done with
Murky's
Murky.
now cousin Jerry.
We're done.
Yeah.
All right,
Murky
continue,
was
Jared.
cousin
Continue.
Jerry, and now he's dead. He's Hadoukened in the face. He's done for. Game over. My beard keeps sliding down.
Because you're
Somebody's-
angry. You're mad as hell.
Dude,
Yeah,
Rip.
it was
rip.
Yeah.
Why?
Oops, that's not it. What's your thing? Is it Zoya
He
TV,
was-
Murky?
he was
Why?
annoying. I don't know. I just hope that he just gets deleted from the game. I hope that
No.
Blizzard realizes that
Yeah.
he's just a bad hero and they
At
just
this
like,
point-
Jerry.
there's no
At
way
this-
that we can make this right.
Yeah. At this point, he just needs like a major rework. Like,
Yeah.
it's like every part of his kit's just like useless. It's like he has 0 health. His pufferfish is impossible to actually hit anybody with. You only get like 1 slime off before you die,
And
and you can't do anything while you need.
in
And
John
his
D's
heroics are like, so.
yeah. Sorry. In John Z's notes, what they said is they wanted to change his egg so that he can be a little bit more aggressive with it to encourage Murkies to be on the map more and be more aggressive with their egg. But
Okay.
I
That's fine.
Yeah,
what about all the other
rest
stuff?
of the team? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
Like,
because he's I don't know.
Ruby and Gathering Power is a considerable nerf. I mean, 20% ability power on everything you do was nice. And then Safety Bubble, which I agree was kind of probably broken. like a
God, that
full
was so-
heal every 8 seconds when you get a talent when you talent properly.
Yeah, that was strong.
I mean that I guess, but that's still a huge nerf to him.
Right.
And then all of the talents moving around is like ugh.
It's not good.
I don't like. He was not good before, and then they nerfed like. I don't know. It's kind of like the Lily nerf that we once saw. Like she never got play, and then
It's
they
like
nerfed her.
they ruined her.
It's like,
I don't
how
know.
do you balance a character that doesn't really die, that's always persistent, that always exists? It's really difficult, right? Like, think about it as a design way. Like, I
yeah.
love the fact that they came up with this design of, like, yeah, we're going to have this guy who just always, like, kind of wears you down and dies. But it's, in a way, it's kind of cool, but in another way, it's kind of really frustrating because unless you have a Cloaky on your team, it's so hard to kill his egg. So you have to try and force people to be more aggressive with their egg. But you can't do that because now you have to nerf everything else to make the egg, like, the fact that it's now more aggressive. It's like that balance is so difficult.
Yeah.
It's like bunker build time plus 5 seconds.
Didn't we
minus
say Murky's
0.5
our bunker?
seconds.
Like
Yeah,
he's
that's
our
what he
bunker.
said. It's just like it's a cool idea, but try figuring out design wise what you're supposed to do with that because
No,
I don't
I agree,
even
yeah.
know.
He needs a rework. Like Arth said earlier, like rework him. Like
Murky's
he-
been
he's been one for a
reworked
while.
like
I don't know
Twice.
how many times I've looked at the patch notes and I just see a bunch of this talent's been changed to level this talent's been changed to
Yeah.
level. It's
Yeah.
happened like every single patch. It's like I don't know. Do you even know what you're doing with this character? I don't know. It's like
Just- It's the egg. Honestly, I still find like it's the egg is the issue because you're always just sitting there trying to figure out, all right, where's his egg? Where's he coming from? Why is he still coming this way? I want to be able to kill this character at least once.
I think it'd be better if it was like Murky has an egg in base and you have like 3 charges on it. After that 3rd charge, you can't respawn at it until like 3-minute cooldown or something.
Or
Is that
like
way-
he can't leave the area
Oh.
from the egg or something, so you can figure out a rough triangulation of where he is, like in relation to the egg.
again,
like a leash.
that's unintuitive. So that's
Yeah.
that's
I don't know.
that's too specific. He's gonna be. Some heroes will just never be competitive, and that's just the nature of these
played.
kind of games.
No, it's not even about being competitive, but it's like he needs to at least be fun to like
Yeah.
play as
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
actually able to do stuff. It just feels like he doesn't do anything.
Just a quick one here. There was a poll put in the chat: who has the best beard? Arthelon is currently tied with Zoya.
Hi, Pooh. Tempo Storm.
Get wrecked, boys. Okay, so just moving down the list here. What else do we got? We got a big one coming up next. We have Mr. Jim Raynor seeing a pretty big change. And
One big change.
we're not gonna read read all this.
That's a lot.
He pretty much got it. He's probably changed the most of anyone in the game. They changed it so that level 10 Hyperion now has the Yamato cannon, which is the siege on structures. They moved a lot of things around. He now has a very unique bribe thing at level 1 that costs 15 stacks. So
I'd say like the overall way to look at it, they changed his trait, and they split it up and moved it over to a couple of talents at 13 and 20, and now he has extra range at level 1, and then more or less they took away all of his like auto attack style talents. So they're really making it so you can't build him auto attacky, and they just gave him a bunch of stuff here and there, and it's like go figure it out. But
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits.
For the most part, it's like they removed a lot of his damage, which was mostly auto attacks, and they placed utility elsewhere. Right now, I think people have been trying Q build on him.
Oh.
You have 2 charges of Q, and it actually
call it?
does pretty good damage.
double-barreled and
I
hamstring
totally
shot?
called it.
Yeah, it's like extra damage at 16, and then
Yeah,
like 2
the stun.
charges.
It gets a stun too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, well, hamstring is also the slow too. So
Yeah, it's slow at 7, and then 16 is stun, extra damage.
and 13 is a
2
double
charges.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty weird to have that trait, though. It's like kind of really boring. It's like, yeah, he has extra
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
Someone made a
Yeah.
giant.
Has
Reddit
extra
thread that's
range.
just Like, this
Woohoo.
isn't a trait. This is a stat. Can you do something a
Yeah.
little bit more interesting, please? Yeah, having extra vision too. It's like that's just a stat. And I was like, he's not wrong. It's kind of everyone else has like at least something that's weird about their hero. This is. I understand that he's supposed to be like the cookie cutter, basic hero that you learn on, but I don't know, something different.
He was that, though. I mean, You take them, you press W, you hit people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's about as basic as it gets. And
That's
they made
fair.
it more complicated now, I think, if they're going for that.
Yeah.
I liked his old builds too. I thought they were really fun. I thought that was a really good way to teach like new players, like play Raynor, learn how to auto attack, learn how to pop abilities while you're auto attacking, and also recognize that you won't be able to escape from every situation, but using your Q either to decide whether to kill something or whether to get away from it.
Or to help something get away.
Yeah.
Or help somebody else get away. Exactly. So I think Raynor was a really great mix of like learning basic mechanics because you didn't have to focus on
He
anything.
still is though, and now he has more.
I mean, he still
diversity.
is, but it's like I don't know. I feel like they're trying to get away from the auto attack thing of Raynor, which was his whole like kit. That was his thing. Why do we get rid of the auto attack?
I mean, yeah, it's better for higher end play and like play in general, but it's like if you want that basic hero, they definitely did not go in the right direction.
Definitely a basic hero. He's wearing North Face.
Did you just go there?
Yeah. So what about the change on Raynor's Raiders? You can now control Raynor's Raiders. Does that help them in competitive, you think? Because you can fully micro them.
I didn't know that now.
You can fully micro them like a water elemental.
Yeah.
Battle cruisers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Battlecruiser is super strong.
BC is strong, great, but you can micro
great.
Raynor's Raiders and you can just blow people up, and it's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't actually played them yet.
Well,
Yeah.
So that
They're-
should help if you're really good at it. So
You were able to control them already.
No.
Just was whatever he was auto
very
attacking.
loose, very
Yeah,
loose.
but that means if something is like really far away and you want the Raynors to hit that, you have to like start moving in that direction to start hitting it. Now you can
that's
just
true.
you
set it
can
and
right
walk
click
away.
a piece.
No, but I mean like it's no more damage. There's no more direct
You can-
damage. Like it's not like
you
being
can
able to
cast
burst
it.
something down quicker.
No,
Level
it's
20
not,
they're
no,
stronger.
not at all. But now you can
Yeah.
cast it and walk
Yeah.
away.
Oh yeah,
That's a
I
lot
understand
better.
that. I understand that. It's a really nice quality of life
Yeah.
thing, but it's not like it does more damage or anything.
No.
Well, at level 20, they have the permacloak and they fire 50% more frequently. I
That's
don't-
what they already did already.
Was that already how they were? Okay.
Yeah, I
thought
don't know
just
why
said
they
permacloak.
mentioned that.
They just changed the name,
They said
I guess.
they said it added one more. Before it used to be they used to shoot like 2 missiles. Now they shoot 3. But that was the original Dark Wings, and now it's like
Oh, okay.
Darkwing Duck.
Duskwing.
Let's get dangerous.
But it's
I
cool.
don't know.
It's cool to be able to micro them like the water elemental because
Yeah.
they fly. It's a water elemental that flies and shoots you in the face, and there's 2 of them. So it's pretty nice. Okay, any other thoughts on Reghar? I mean, or Raynor?
yeah, Hyperion is awesome. The new Hyperion, I love it. It's really strong. That's all I
First
have to say.
impressions, he's a little bit better than before, but still not high tier.
Yeah, he's not high tier, but
But that might change now. I've only seen him played like 4 times.
I think we're gonna
yeah, he's
see.
definitely not high tierian.
You're done.
I
Kick him.
really think we're gonna see him played in competitive very soon. I think it's gonna take a couple weeks for teams to get used to him. And
I mean, there's still so many more damages that are better than him though, like Tychus, Tass, Fala,
Hammer.
Nizebo, Hammer.
I agree.
level 20
kind of-
with Frenzy.
It's nice.
Well, you
but
shouldn't pick a hero for level 20.
I'm
like-
just saying. I'm just saying.
He's definitely like okay. Like if for some reason all your options get exhausted, like yeah, he's gonna be that next best. But I don't know. I don't foresee it. Like unless the snipe build turns out to be way better than I like. I messed around with it earlier, just taking all the snipe talents. It feels good, but and then I'm just thinking like, oh, I could be Hammer right now. That'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, moving on. Reghar, they just pretty much removed his root. It's now
Boo.
a 90% slow, no longer a root. Very
Boo!
Very
That
small
10%
thing.
move speed, it feels faster than 10%. Anything that has that 90% slow on it now, it's like I feel like that person should be moving like a snail, and they're like actually getting somewhere. I don't know. I
It's
don't
like a very, very, very slight nerf, but I don't think it really changes anything.
The root.
The
will
only
make-
real thing is like, if you're rooted, you can't blink.
Yeah,
but now you
that's-
can
that's
blink.
what-
But that's I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I mean, it doesn't change much, but
It feels better to play against, at least.
I don't think it needed to be nerfed at all. I think it was fine the way it was. Like, I don't think.
I really think that this is, again, that it's not intuitive for a new player. Why am I not moving? Like, it wasn't doing that before. Suddenly I can't move. I
That's
really
the way the
think
talent system works.
Yeah.
There are times when your abilities get tweaked in radical directions, and that's okay.
that's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise it's just really weird. It's
They were saying it's like it doesn't. I think if the Blizzard Jonzi post said it didn't create any ability for counterplay. It's like, well, what does 10% move speed do for counterplay? You can move 2 inches to the left or the right.
Yeah, that's
It's just the
more
blink.
like
It's
you're
the blink.
moving somewhere and then you get rooted and then you're not moving anymore. So you have to like re-click. I don't know.
I don't know. It's
That's what
It's
I
a lot
kind
of
of-
little things.
kinda
that
weird.
Get rid of all of roots.
Yeah, I guess
but
that's
Malph's
kind of
intuitive because you have grass on your feet.
direction.
Sergeant Hammer, Bullhead Mines.
Yeah!
No longer have the triple knockback for each. Well, the
Thank
knockback
God.
for each mine. Now only the center mine of the pack will knock you back, but it knocks you back further.
I didn't like this.
That was annoying.
This
Like,
means more mines is nerfed. Has anyone tested this? Is it just the center of the 5?
it's just the center. Yep.
Of the 5. And of course, the mines can be destroyed by auto-attacking them, so you can just auto-attack that center mine, and not have to worry about the knockback. But of course, you will still get slowed by those mines.
Played a game where QXE was playing Jaina, and I don't remember who I was playing with, but someone was hammer at a shrine, had 6 mines down. QXE bolted in to try and kill the hammer, and died to the mines. Like, just locked down.
Was that our game, Jared? Was that ridiculous comeback game that we had?
Yes, you were there!
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So silly.
That was the silliest thing ever. Like, that talent was ridiculous, man.
My condolences to QXE for losing to you scrubs because
Oh, yeah, it was me, you, and CSD. That's right.
Yep.
poor QXE.
So, okay, my thoughts on this. Yeah, that's fine. I think that the only problem I have with it is that there should be 2 of the mines of 5 if you decide to go for that upgrade. Like the two middle-ish ones. I think you guys know what I'm
Yeah, that'd be
That's
fair.
That's fine, but like I'm okay with this. Like they're gonna nerf this, but she has other ways to play now. First aid and like giant killer are more viable because of the way like her late game pans out. This is like kind of how talent tweaking should go.
Okay.
It's a better direction.
Yeah.
Real quick, they brought it up in chat. I guess we kind of missed it. With the 90% slow as opposed to root, I guess we didn't actually say this. You can use dodges, blinks, and etc.
Yeah,
we
no,
did say that.
Arth
Arth said that.
I did. Sorry.
Arthelon said
Wow.
that.
I must have blanked. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean that's an obvious thing.
That's the
where
only.
yeah, that nerfs it, but you're still spending a talent point to get that root. That's a benefit you should be gaining. So to be able to root someone down, Zeratul is going to blink in, Earthgrass Stone secures that kill. That's cool. That's a fun mechanic that makes it talent worthwhile to grab. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be getting the Healing Surge instead of the Earthgrass from now on if it's not an actual
Healing
root.
Surge is 13. We just see people going for the double lightning shield upgrades, lightning bond.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you're right. Surge
Well, I
is
still
13.
think the 90% slow is better than the...
It's good. It's good, but it's not a root. And
Yeah, the root was fine. I don't think it needed to be nerfed, but...
all right,
it
so
is. Back
Sonya.
Oh jeez.
to- Still bad.
Oh,
Jeez. Can we just
Oh,
skip her?
jeez.
I
I mean,
Okay, she's still dumpster tier.
dumpster
Yeah.
tier.
Dumpster.
Yeah.
they really didn't change much except they changed Wrath of the Berserker a little bit and they increased her auto attack damage.
Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you your monthly salary. I'm increasing it by $1,000, but everything
Taxes.
you buy is being taxed by like 50% more. Congrats. Like, change nothing. You make
No,
her gain
it's,
more rage, she spends more rage.
No,
Blue?
it's not. It's not entirely as bad as Jared's making it out to be. You get like everything generates like on average like 80% more rage, and then you spend like 50% more. So it's a little bit better, but that doesn't fix her core problems in competitive play, which is when she gets stunned out of her whirlwind, she's junk, and now like they just increased the cooldown of leap, and she has like no way out on top of that. So it's okay. She's not going to be able to do anything in the middle of a team fight. So, and then you're waiting till level 20 to get that hardened shield. No one's taking Sonya anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I tried. Sonya was my first Master Tier skin I bought before the wipe.
Oh, I'm
Rip.
sorry. Oh, before
Oh,
the
yeah, I
wipe.
remember
Oh,
that,
before the
yeah.
wipe. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And, I like her, but
Oh,
I just feel really bad for my team when I play her.
I'm just gonna say, dear Blizzard, make heroic leaps cooldown good again, because I miss hearing.
We all miss it a little bit.
Wait, it's sad. I haven't heard it in. I literally have not heard that in probably a few months.
I think it was like October was the last time she was being played.
Oh no.
Which is funny because I know, Kubi, you were playing her again with your secret build that you were trying to come up with that was going to make her viable again, but you weren't even using Leap, you were using Wrath of the Berserker.
I was using Wrath, yeah.
That would be
So,
better if like you couldn't get stunned in CC.
There needs to be some kind of like, I don't know how to do it, because obviously CC immunity on like an 8-second whirlwind is stupid. but there has to be something where it's like if you get interrupted, there's like a 1 second delay and then you can re-whirlwind again. I don't know what it is, but when you just get that whirlwind knocked away and then you have to sit there in the middle of a team fight for 10 seconds waiting for it to come back, you're just going to die. And you're no longer a tank at that point. You're not.
I want to point out something, chat, by the way. Kubi made that beard in like 15 minutes, and it is still like together. It hasn't fallen apart.
Yeah.
Like it's still a thing.
Mm-hmm. Power of
It's made
arts
out-
and crafts, guys. Power of arts and crafts. I have to adjust it here and there.
My cardboard beard, if you missed it, well,
It's pretty epic.
you're
We're
lucky.
Bruni, dude.
You're lucky that you missed it.
Yeah.
Because
Bottom line, Sonya still junked here. Try again, Blizzard. Try again.
I think
Jump.
John Z said in his post, we're still not done with her. We're still feeling her out.
I hope that's the case.
We don't really know the final iteration of her, what it'll be yet, but pretty sure that's what his post ended up saying. Stooches! Nerf the hook, nerf the damage in the gorge. Still a
Still
really good
God
guy.
tier.
Yeah, still,
Not an over nerf, which is good.
but
Still needs a little bit more, I think, but it's a step in the... I'd rather they do like small steps here
Yeah.
and there, like once a month. Okay, we'll just take stitches down a little bit more every time.
Both
Step in
these
the right
changes are good and justifiable.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
it's really good.
No
too.
one's angry about them. It's just, if anything, people are angry they didn't nerf them enough. But that's fine. We'll just not overdo it in just a little bit every patch.
So, Arth, we talked about this on a previous episode. I just want to hear your opinion really quick. We talked about the idea of removing Bolt of the Storm on him and putting Fishing Hook on 20. What do you think about those changes?
I agree with the increased hook range at 20. I think they'd have to buff it a little bit if they did that.
Then he gets Pulverize and Fishing Hook.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
actually,
kinda
Oh.
because
he,
at
could,
16,
he could get a 13 the range increase for Slam.
well, at 16 you have
Pulverize.
3 really good options. You have Imposing Presence,
Yeah, Imposing
the
Presence.
increased hook range, and the
Wow,
stun.
that's
Right, so
scary.
when you move it out, it's like almost a buff. It's kind of hard to think
That's
of
a
it that
good
way, but
point. That's a good
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Ugh.
As
All
for
right, I just
bolts,
vomited a little.
I mean, I feel like Bolt's fine on him. Like, if you gorge somebody and are able to blink over, that's kind of their fault.
Yeah, the when you mention it, that's a good point. We don't actually see it making that many ridiculous plays in competitive, not yet. Not
Yeah,
until we
it's like-
see like something silly like like crazy bolt into hooks. I mean that happens occasionally, but I haven't seen it lately in competitive.
If you like hook gorge somebody and they die, I don't think Bolt really makes a difference there. If they die or not, especially if the target you like gorged has Bolt as well.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think it's fine on them. I mean, if it's something they have to remove to like buff other areas, I guess I don't know.
All right, well, that's Stooches. Thrall lost battle momentum.
So
A little bit more than that actually.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
They've made a lot of tweaks to him that they didn't document here. I think.
Numbers nerfed everywhere for
Yeah.
Thrall.
So-
I think it's
his
his
root-
passive is
The heal,
20 to
12%.
12.
Yep.
His
Chain
W
lightning.
does less damage.
Yep.
And his chain lightning does less damage.
Yep.
I think that's
He
it.
still feels like okay,
no.
but no, he's definitely not anywhere near as good as he was. The self-healing is significant. He's much easier to blow up. He can't solo 3 people anymore. That's
I
only
mean-
that's only when they're playing bad. But the battle moment thing just really ruins that Wind Fury style. But I don't think that's what killed him. I think it's the other stuff.
I think it's like a combo of everything. Battle Minimal is pretty important in his kit. I guess he's like very similar to Nova, and like in the sense
Yeah.
that he was really, really like Nova was really, really good against the noobs and like the newer people, and not too like in the pre-hot shots. She wasn't too great in the competitive scene, but she still ruined people, and that's what kept seeing nerfs. And the same thing with Thrall. Like we see him every once in a while, but he's not like anywhere close to high tier. And I hear complaints all the time about Thrall on like the noob forums,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like he needed to be nerfed, but like we won't see him in competitive anytime soon now.
Yeah,
Sure.
like last patch he was barely scraping by competitively.
Yeah,
and now
that's true.
I don't think there's a place for him.
Yeah, I think the only time we ever saw him was at least during COTS, was because somebody else picked Nazebo and they didn't want to go with any of the other stun options, and they went with Thrall.
Something's
that's about
great,
it.
but does it? You know.
Yeah, it's not
Justify
it's
the
not
pick?
gonna. Mm-mm.
All right.
he's gone.
Yeah, he's not.
But that's good because I mean, like, you look at
Let's just
it's
take those
good
out.
because well, no, it's not good, but it's good that they aren't just balancing for competitive in a lot of ways, because I mean, you looked at the forums and it was just like
You're right.
constant videos of people who were like, "Oh yeah, Thrall totally balanced," and then you just see 3 noobs and they're being noobs and you know,
like in
noob
Haunted
land.
Mines where Thrall takes out.
But it
4
wasn't
people.
really that difficult to do. You know, like noobs on the same level, like early on in the game, like he had a really high skill floor that just allowed him to do so much damage at the same level of a whole bunch of other noobs that noobs couldn't do the stuff they needed to do to get rid of him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's not really
to get rid of him, it required more skill
to beat
than they were capable of, but the skill level that they were at, Thrall was able to do way more.
Yes, I get you.
Yeah, sentence English.
Complicated way of saying it, but I follow you.
All right. She tried to escape,
Getting.
but I disallowed her.
Tycho.
Tycho,
RC.
Tycho.
Boy.
We're wanting to talk about him now. This is probably one of the bigger changes to competitive, but a lot of people freaked out at first.
Kind of, but not really.
But I really think people freaked out a little bit too much. Now, of course, the Odin always provided Tychus a second health bar. It had a full, new, fresh health bar, so people would use the Tychus as a oh crap button, hit R, and hey look, you're safe. Everything's great with the world. No longer the case. Odin gains 2 new abilities. It gains Ragnarok missiles, which are a targetable ability that you then cast on the ground, and they will slow the targets that you hit. And it also has a dash, much like Tychus' E that he already has on his core kit. No longer has a second health bar. He has his basic health already starts out with, but in return, he can use Stone Skin. He can use First Aid. He can use Searing attacks.
Dun dun dun.
And Arthelon. Tell me about how you feel about Tychus.
I feel like Tychus would be good if he only had melting point, like literally nothing else. So I think
a bold statement, sir.
yeah, like if he had his Q and his W, I don't even think you need to attack on him. You just melting point everything. But
Huge buff to melting point. You can now see the gray health that it applies.
Yeah.
Sick.
oh, was that changed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
just
actually
added
see it,
it.
yeah.
So
Oh, that's nice. I think these changes are good. For the nerf it had, they gave him a lot. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too little. I think it's in the right area, and we'll see. It's gonna require a lot of different playstyle though that people aren't used to. So they're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna pop out and live here. Oh, I'm dead.
Yep.
The ability to use First Aid and Stone Skin and Odin though is like spectacular.
Yeah.
I think that makes up for just about everything that they nerfed.
Yeah.
So,
I
I think Tychus is definitely still up there.
Yeah, I agree. Huge.
I would
Still-
definitely say he is still nerfed.
Is that Gandalf? Is that the Gandalf voice?
I was doing an old man voice.
Okay, I was about to say. That's
I think he might
Good.
be buffed, honestly. Like his
I
W
would-
is so much better now because it actually slows people.
Yeah,
And the range
it's
is
targetable.
higher. You do more
Yeah.
damage. Like,
He's
I'm
the
in
new,
that boat too.
The new Thor is really, or new Odin is really awesome.
yeah.
I'm in that boat. I think he's buffed.
I think at
He
the
gets
highest level of
Nexus.
play, he's buffed, but
He gets
you get
Nexus,
caught on Tychus, you're done. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. If you get caught,
Yeah.
you're dunzos.
Sure.
D the Hunter is actually saying in chat you can now bolt in Odin form, and we
Yeah, you
saw
can
that
bolt.
in a
We did.
cast, like, and I like wasn't
Okay,
ready.
that's
I
the
like
thing, though.
wasn't ready because this was the day the patch came out. This was Tuesday, and we just see the Odin bolt forward. It's like that's terrifying. Oh my god.
yeah, I think if you get Bolt on Odin, it basically removes any like vulnerability you have. So
Yeah.
even if you can die in Odin, it's like you're fine. You have Bolt. Like before, you wouldn't even take Bolt because you didn't need it because you'd pop out of Odin at full health. And
Yeah,
have
now it's a
Stone
great
Skin first
choice.
aid. It's like if you die, that means you like lost a fight really hard anyways.
But you also put
You need
Nexus
Bolt.
Frenzy in the Odin, 20% more attack
Yeah.
speed and range. That's pretty good.
With searing attacks, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty okay.
Yeah.
Things might die.
he's definitely still high tier, but
Yeah.
I'm not ready to say whether he's better or worse yet.
Oh, that's fair.
We'll have to discover the new playstyle and see how it goes from there.
I can tell you who's definitely worse.
This guy.
Oh man,
Bye, Tyrael, cast aside.
See you
will not be
later. It
missed.
was nice knowing you too.
I mean-
he was brought from tier real to teal.
Stop.
Tier fake.
Too
He's
bad.
gone.
Rip. I mean, Kobe said this to me earlier today. If you're gonna remove cast aside, you have to give him something else to replace that. Like,
He gets nothing. Whoops. Oh no, he gets angelic absorption moved from 4 to 13.
great. I thought Jared was disengaging, so I got real excited. I put those cams back on, but nope. He's just readjusting,
I think this
getting his
one's going to time.
Jedi-ness on.
I think this one's going to time.
I can say playing against Tyrael when he has cast aside was really not fun. Like,
Yeah.
it was just really annoying to have that 7-second ability to just completely like displace
good.
you.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I hated playing against it, but I realized that like it was something that he needed or something.
Yep.
I don't know.
Agreed. Ripperoonie Dooney.
Rip.
I mean, it was a really, really, really strong talent, but I think it needs to be replaced with something. And I think they probably should move something like Holy Ground up a couple of tiers.
Oh, that's fair.
All right, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this because this has really been bothering me, and I kind of went on a small little rant on Twitter. And I know we only have one more hero to go through, but screw that.
Well, we got 2 more heroes to go through. We haven't talked about Vikings yet. So.
Go for
right.
it, Kev.
So anyway.
Go for it.
Why is it that Blizzard feels that every talent that actually changes how your character plays has to happen after level 10? Think of a single talent that you
10.
pick 1 to 4.
Oh, you said 10.
1 to 7.
1 to
10.
7.
I think
1 to 7.
flank kick, the pressure point was a good example.
All right,
But that's gone now.
Yeah.
That's
It is
gone now. That's
It
now
is gone
16.
It is
That's
gone.
about it. That was
Wait,
probably the
what-
only one.
What was Sham's point?
Think
What
hero-
talents exist between level 1 and level 7
Earthgrass,
that-
Totem, healing,
that
like
really,
cast aside, that
really-
kind of stuff.
really, really change how your hero plays? Like,
Tychus, melting point.
okay.
Rex.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one.
Tychus, okay, no.
Yeah.
Come up with another one.
Vala, multi-shot, range, battle momentum.
Rex.
Battle momentum somewhat.
There's
really
there's a lot of
really
examples,
how
but-
you're like the things that really change how the hero plays. Like
Utility.
like
Utility-wise.
utility-wise.
I mean, I guess the pushing for melting
or
point.
create,
Tyrande.
create abilities.
Piercing bolt on Muradin, maybe.
That's
kind
true.
of. Like
Tyrande
there's,
is like-
I get what you're saying, Kev. I get your point.
there's
I
so
understand.
many abilities that like I'm like look at most of the builds and most of them are just like stat boosts, small little things that happen between level 1 and 7, and then all the major. These are how your abilities completely change. They change how your computer play your player plays.
Kevin
happen
Bots confirmed.
13 and 16.
Yeah, it's
Tyrande at level 1 owl decides whether you
Pierce.
go owl build or not.
Pierce.
Rex.
Pierce, okay, so Pierce is a good one, but even then, what's next? Healing Ward, and then after that, Battle Momentum, and even then, Battle Momentum's a generic talent, so it doesn't really change.
So is healing
Like,
word,
it's not
yeah.
like a unique thing for your hero to change.
I mean,
It
It's
changes
I get your point.
W from being used for damage to your W only being used for scouting.
but typically these change of playstyles in your hero that you're talking about end up being like a pretty powerful thing that makes the hero have a lot more utility and just
Why can't
power.
that happen at level 1 through 7?
Well, I mean, that makes you really powerful in the early game. I don't know. They tend to
Not
like
really powerful. I mean, yeah.
just change it. You know, it doesn't have to be
Like,
powerful.
why do I have
Just
to
change
wait for my hero to become the hero that I want them to be? Like, why do I have to wait to get?
So,
those
like, what kind of stuff
talents?
do you want to see? Way
Like,
long ago, we
like,
talked
I
about.
mean, stuff like I don't know, like distortion beam or something. I don't know. Like, I'm just coming up with like random things that really change your hero's abilities to be before level 10. Because I mean, most of them happen in those 2 tiers, 13 and 16, and then level 20 you get your was the heroic changes. But I don't like the fact that most of the really big game-changing talent choices happen at 13 and 16. Why doesn't that happen that earlier? Like it's like the same issue that we ran into in StarCraft 2, where they started like anytime there was early aggression, anytime there's anything like that, they came up with ways to buff against early aggression, so people didn't have to deal with it that much. And I feel like it kind of got sort of some of the excitement from the game, like big talent changes that affect your hero pretty decently in the beginning of the game.
No, I think things are fine the way they are.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna be like team fighting until that point, anyways. So you want things that like help you either like sustain or like do more damage,
Just
or
the
like
pacing of the game and just
even if you got
maybe at
Most
7,
really
happen at, like,
maybe at
level
7.
4 and level 7. You have Curse Tribute,
Well, like,
have Haunted
like-
Mines happen at level 4. Black Hearts, you have that spawning at 50 seconds.
Think of how snowballing like certain heroes would be if you moved cast aside to 4. Like
yeah.
that would be a terrible hero design. Like if you had it that early, like he would be like so dominating in the early game, and then there would be no point that he would fall off because of cast fight.
Because you're looking at that in vacuum. You're looking at that in one situation where Tyrael has cast aside, and that's it. Like that's like you just move that talent up, and then all of a sudden nobody else got any talents that were just that game changing.
But it's also supposed to be something that, like, as the game goes on, it's something that like spices up your character. Like you're 15 minutes into the game, and then you hit 13. It's like, yes, I get this cool thing. I've worked towards this, and the game gets exciting as you're progressing through. You get that 5 minutes in. All right, where's my next cool thing? I don't get anything else cool. This sucks. Like
you're like moving things that change your abilities that early in the game, then just rework the ability to have it at the start. Like
yeah. So
shouldn't have something that drastic early on. I don't think.
I don't know. I don't think it's a necessary change. But any
I
other?
don't know. I'm looking around and like most of the stuff that you get at like level 1 and level 4 are just kind of stat boosts, and I kind of just find like that's a little bit boring.
I mean, the impact that talents have progressively gets higher and higher as the game goes on for that reason, so that it gets more exciting as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's boring, but like you can't have like major game-breaking talents every talent tier. Like sometimes you do need the talent just like 20% damage.
But just imagine like getting.
But isn't that exactly what Blizzard did when they revisited the talent tree for World of Warcraft? They were tired of stat boosts, so they made it so that every talent
This
actually
is a very different game from World of Warcraft. This is a very different game.
But I mean, the game's supposed to be fun. Why are stat boosts?
I think they could be fun.
And WoW, it's so much more complex and deep that like.
And stat boosts make sense early game because a lot of them scale. Regen Master doesn't make sense to get at level 7 because you're lacking the utility that you'd get at level 1. You want to be able to collect those globes right away. So some talents are kind of restricted to that early game stuff. Yeah, in theory you could throw block later game if you wanted to, because that doesn't actually change. I don't know. I think it's fine how it is.
It's just a progression as you move forward. That's all.
Yeah. Let's talk about Zeratul here, though. I just want to finish getting through the rest of these heroes. And Zeratul, well, he's been changed a bit. Now he lost Bolt. Okay. He lost Executioner. Sure, take that away. Go ahead. But he picked up this thing called Rewind at level 20, and it's pretty okay.
I don't know why they put it on Zeratul. There's like no need.
Are you
for
scared?
It. I'm not scared. It's just kind of dumb that like they would have Zeratul have Rewind. It's just I don't know.
We'll see how broken it is.
I really doubt it's gonna be here next patch.
I mean, Zeratul got nerfed pre-20. Rending Cleave moving to 16 is a nerf. Like, Rending Cleave is pretty important to his kit. He gets it later.
Didn't see that one.
He is weaker than he was before.
Okay, that's true.
Not enough.
Good point.
Not enough though, but he like so like
in Gathering Power. Gathering Power, we have to look at that
and
too.
Gathering Power's gone too, which is another
nerfed.
It's nerfed, but it's not. That's also very small. It's like people are like Zeratul's gonna be insane now. Like, no, he's only better at 20.
Yep.
Like, don't pick a hero because they're insane at 20.
And also good to note that VP can no longer steal Merc Camps or Dragon Knights.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
or
that.
Stuff like that. So that's another big thing they changed. You can't use VP to steal objectives. It was a cool mechanic, but also a frustrating mechanic for the receiving end. So pretty much what the text says here. Now pause this capture point. So that capture point is inactive like everything within it, and they cannot be stolen from whoever's capping that golem or whatever by Zeratul.
Yeah, that was a needed change. That just felt really terrible to play against. Even if you stopped the Zeratul from getting your golem by like using vision to stop him and like kill him before, it's just really annoying to deal with.
Delays how long it takes.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a 5 versus 1 and the Zeratul's up, some teams would just be like, we can't. Like, it would be way too risky at this stage in the game to go for golem because Zeratul is up.
Yeah.
Can snipe.
It's fair. That's fair. Overall thoughts, still going to be really good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Solo queue terror.
Solo queue.
Yeah, Zeratul is definitely still be good. Especially now that Kerrigan's nerfed. And like other heroes are worse. It just makes them better.
Let's talk about this guy.
Can we talk about some games first? Before Vikings?
Yes.
Okay.
Take it away. This 3-minute rant, go.
This is like kind of like a request from Blizzard type thing. There is a...
He's requesting Blizzard.
First of all, the new profile. We didn't talk about that. The new profile screen is freaking awesome. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
stats there. You can see like kill streaks or kill ratios and stuff. It's really like pretty looking and stuff. Jake's set it up right now. You can see your top 3 played heroes. It's like really well done. But if you go over to the what's the screen called? I can't even read that. Match history. You can see with custom games the compositions that teams run. So when we're scrimming and like trying to develop new strategies and stuff, all it takes is, let's say Maelstrom, Dunk Train wants to figure out what tempo Storm's running. Just inspects Arthelon's profile, can see every composition we've run ever. And that's not good.
Yep, you just hover
That's
over and
not
you see those comps. It's like, all right, they ran this comp, they're running this comp, they're running this comp. We now know every strat they're planning. And when you're looking at the ESL Major League, the ESL Major League is, of course, like that the thing where all the money is right now, pretty much. Yeah, there's stuff on the horizon, sure, but they know their opponent a week ahead of time. So this is almost like saying, hey, look, guys, get Smurf accounts now, start leveling them up because you got to hide your strats. And that's not a good thing to have to do.
Well,
a
even
lot of
with
peop-
Smurf accounts, like if you're playing all Smurfs and you're playing against like for example, like Murlocs,
That's true.
you only have to go to Murloc's profile, and
Yeah,
well,
you're right.
I mean it's kind of hard at that point because you can't see the actual names of the players are playing. But if you know a particular team is scrimming another team,
Yep. You can find out tendencies like, oh, these guys run Arthas Reghar a lot. You can try sniping them. And a lot of players in the competitive scene believe that the game is partially won in the draft. You figure out someone's drafts, you figure out these tendencies. Like, of course, like if we're like scrimming Murlocs 100% of the time, of course, like, Murlocs is going to have an advantage going against us. But like, if you almost never scrim us and then you're just like, well, let's see, like, oh, we got a show match for $2,000 coming up. Let's look at the match history for the last 3 weeks of Tempo Storm. That should be hidden.
well, it's not that. It's just if they're gonna have this in, they need a way for us to like hide our stuff.
Yeah.
Now in StarCraft 2, there were maps that were listed as hidden. There were custom maps that would just be hidden from your profile. Because in StarCraft 2, I mean, yeah, there's all the ladders and stuff, but in custom games, you can choose from a variety of maps made by the community, and certain maps are just listed as hidden. So there should just be a check box in your custom game to hide that from your profile. I mean, that might be hard to implement, but if the game's going to proceed as an esport, it's a crucial functionality for teams to improve, scrim, innovate, and then be able to surprise their opponents.
Actually, later on in StarCraft 2, they added the ability that even whenever you make any custom game, you can click you can select one of 3 options: hide build order or hide game even existed.
Yep.
That's exactly what
we
it
need
is.
either that or we desperately need pause. Anyways,
Pause.
And,
Yes.
in League, it's like even if you kill the Nexus and it blows up, you can still pause the game and everyone leaves, and then the game is scrapped. And
I mean, let's not even suggest that because the other options are better. I mean, this game is
the other option is
it's an
clearly
early
better.
development, so let's not even suggest that because that's gimmicky and that's not ideal. But pause is a crucial thing to have too. I mean, in StarCraft 2, imagine if you didn't have pause. Like, how many turns would have been ruined? This game isn't ready for a LAN environment until we have pause.
Yeah.
And we can't run LANs. Like, straight up, sometimes when we're casting events now, someone will disconnect and we just have to say, oh, well, that sucks.
It's happened before.
Yeah, we had
Utherbot with Glorious, man.
Utherbot, man.
So, all right,
Well, wait. Oh, I think you guys are a little bit wrong because there's a pause feature.
wrong? Kev, we're not wrong here in Town Hall.
No, you're wrong. You're definitely wrong.
No,
There's
you're
definitely-
wrong.
We're not wrong.
Definitely pause in Heroes of the Storm.
a
Rhaegar
pun.
has 4 of them.
It's a pun. I
Oh,
knew it.
God.
Why do
you're
we let him speak?
disgusting. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Lost Vikings now after that filth. We're going to shrug that off. And Lost Vikings is the first
God.
hero in Heroes of the Storm that has multiple control groups. So it's control groups 1, 2, and 3. 1 being Olaf, 2 being Balog, and 3 being Eric. 4 will control all 3 of them simultaneously. They do not start out with a Q, W, and E. Those abilities are picked up as talents. Q is picked up at level 4 if you opt to get that as your talent. Level 7, you can get Jump. That's invulnerability. It's much like the bubble on Murky. And then E, you can get Norse Force, which is shielding.
Chat's so mad at Kev right now.
Oh, God, the facepalm. The failfish is real. Now, Lost Vikings are very micro-intensive when you look at them that way. They allow you to, control a Dragonite. You can capture both shrines and then capture the Dragonite by yourself. I was playing them on Garden of Terror, and I just threw Eric in the Garden Terror while I fought with my other two guys, and I just let my Garden Terror go to town. And it's a lot of fun. They can do some really cool stuff, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Lost Vikings.
I am annoyed at the fact that, so when you press Q, even if you're just selecting one, like if you get the abilities, if you use one of the abilities, even if you're just selecting one, it uses on all of them. If you hit healing well on just one of them, it uses on all of them. These things are, for such a hero that's got such a micro-intensive play style, why would you implement features that make him easier to use? Like, the whole thing about him is, there is no new player that can easily pick up Lost Vikings. Even with the RTS background, you're not going to pick up Vikings quickly. They are about mechanics and learning them. So, why implement these things into him that, make him easier for someone else to use? Sure, hitting, if you want to use the Q spin or the bubble on all three of them, you can have all three selected, but you should be able to, individually micro them because they are a micro-intensive hero, and you should be able to, push yourself even further. That's, really annoying to me for some reason. I don't like that.
Can't argue. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
They're really fun, though. Oh my god, they're so much fun. I love playing them.
Look at these skins. I bought this.
I think that's just the best.
I bought this. I had to have it.
The second tin for the pajama one is so cool. It's got a Pikachu and a pink bunny.
Yeah, I mean, this is Sonic Tails and a Green Knuckles, and Green Knuckles has a carrot for a quiver. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Pikachu and a pink bunny, pretty good. I like the banana peel, a nice touch.
I like the banana.
And the forest animals, they're all natural.
Yeah, they seem really fun. The boat, oh my god, the boat.
I love the boat.
The boat
is, it's a great heroic. I love everything about that. I hate how much damage it does.
Oh my god, it's insane.
It's there's a boat. Everybody has to leave now. Everybody
I love it.
Get off this boat.
The first time I played it, the enemy team did not respect it. They just did not. They flat out didn't respect the boat. They all died.
It does insane damage, man.
Just a boatload of damage.
God, you're the worst. You are actually just too good.
I mean, I think that one's okay. Boatload. I mean, give that one to him at least.
Oh goodness.
You don't
endure it every week, Carth.
It's true.
He's so quick with
all right.
So
I want the chat to hear this.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be a thing. Nope, can't hear it.
We can't hear it.
We can't hear it.
Oh,
maybe they can hear it?
They can hear it.
Okay.
You just talked through the whole thing, so now they kind of hear it. Okay, good job.
It's supposed to be like a moment of silence.
It's so cool. They are very hard to play, and it's very easy to punish them. It's very easy to snag these kills here, make them ineffective. The Viking ship is actually, even with 3 heroes in it, it is very easy to kill off. I don't think they're going to be seen in competitive play too much right off the bat, but I think that at one point when people really figure out how to play them and get really good with them, they have the potential to be insane.
Yeah, it's really hard to make any judgments too early, right? Because of how ridiculously weird this hero is. It's going to take some time for me to get a reasonably formulated opinion of these heroes, right? So I can't say anything, honestly. I haven't played with them too much to even give a first impression. So.
I've seen not too many impressive play with it yet. I haven't really looked at somebody playing Vikings and been completely impressed with their play. I've seen people use the boat and murder an entire team, but even then that didn't really impress me. I was just okay, boat's really strong. Yeah. But in terms of actually seeing somebody micro the Vikings in a way that actually really I was wow, this guy's on top of his game. I haven't seen it yet, but then again, I haven't really been able to play too many people who I think would actually be able to do it.
Right. I mean,
it's been 2 days. It's gonna be at least a month before. Anyone,
I don't think so. I mean, it's only micro in 3 units. Come on, StarCraft guys. I found out ZP's definitely was a Protoss player.
Dude, he's so slow at them. It was amazing.
I was watching him all day, and he was doing okay. And then I watched you, Zoya. You were doing really well with them, I think, when we played last night. But I think I have a better gauge of whether somebody's doing really well when they're on the enemy team than when they're on my own team. So
Yeah, true.
That's fair.
I mean,
I'm excited.
even from a,
Go ahead,
Jake.
Jake. No, you
Okay.
go ahead.
even like in like games where you're like technically pub stomping, I like never got the feeling that what I was doing on Vikings was like super impactful. Like you could always look at the experience contribution, be like, oh, okay, I've done 10k more than second place. That's awesome. Or I'm like third on hero damage. That's cool. But it never felt like really impactful. Like I never felt that, you know, like you could like I don't know. It just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That's the
It's
thing
hard
we
to
don't
explain.
know. None of us know, really.
yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out slowly. I think. I think somebody made a really fair assessment. Was that they are going to be like just food for Zeratul and
Well, yeah, the
other
fact.
players.
Jaina ruins them. Holy cow.
Oh, you say Jaina ruins him? Have you tried fighting a hammer?
Oh.
Yeah, Hammer's good. Too.
Oh my God! It's the most. I was just trying to even do damage to a hammer. No, if they get first strike, Eric dies from like one shot, pretty much. Like
Hydra's too. Like even like in the Viking ship,
I thought you
one
said
Hydra brings
Hydras.
it
I
down
was
to like
like, Hydra.
5%. Like I don't know.
so. That's while we're talking about that real quick though. The new models on Zagara, the new Hydra, the new Banelings, they look good. I'm actually gonna pull up the desert skin one real quick, but yeah, overall Vikings very fun. I think it'll be cool to see high level play on them eventually. Not sure if they're gonna fit in. They're either gonna be in like do something actually just ridiculous, or we're never gonna see them.
Have you seen the new Ravenous?
Oh, the new skin.
cloud?
Oh my god! Sorry, we were just talking about new skins.
I
The new
haven't seen it yet.
Ravenous looks so
Oh yeah.
cool.
All right,
it
well,
looks awesome.
We're gonna
Anyway.
look at Zagara first, then we'll look
Yeah.
at Ravenous.
Yeah. So I think they're really interesting. I think they're going to be a really cool hero to watch.
They changed Mutalisk.
You know,
they
stay
changed
out.
Mutalisk- Yeah, Mutalisk stay out now, which is really strong. I always
feel
thought Mutalisk was the better pick anyway, but
It definitely needs to be that way for Hydralisk, like always.
Yeah, me too. I would agree with that. The thing about Hydras is the increased range and damage. They do more damage. I mean, straight up,
yeah.
it's stronger if you get that down the spines. Look at
Well,
look at that
Mutalisk-
Hydra. Look at that
Yeah, but
Hydra.
they always get like caught up in everything. That's why I didn't like the Hunter Killers so much, because they always get like stuck behind things.
Well,
that
you
they
just
don't
have to
follow
know
things.
when to use them. It makes it a little bit tricky, I guess. Mutas are safer to use if you don't play a lot of Zagara, but I don't know. I play a ton of Zagara, so I'm very picky about the scenarios. But when it comes to just Zagara skin in general, yeah, that's this tint. Those are the new models for that. But of course, they did update the Zergling and the Hydras and everything for the normal model as well. And I'll just show you guys in the Zebo one while we're at it.
Other than that, do we have any other notes on the patch? While we're waiting for
That's
Jake.
pretty much
That's
it.
about
We can do like a viewer question or two from Reddit.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where's
I have one here. It's
this
for
skin
both us and Arthelon. Two-part question here for the casters. How hard is it to cast a tournament right after a new patch? And for
Oh.
Arthelon, how challenging is it to play competitive games right after all these changes?
I
well,
haven't casted a tournament, but for the most part, I haven't casted a tournament since this past patch. But
I think
normally it's more just kind of understanding. I mean, like a lot of casting already is like, yeah, there's a good amount of knowledge that you're supposed to have beforehand, but it's also just understanding the situation that's happening right then and there. Because I think if you compare what you normally see to what you're seeing right then too much, I feel like you get in too much of a rut, and you're just saying, well, this isn't what we normally see, and you start saying a whole bunch of stuff there. I think it's better just to appreciate what's actually happening in the game this time, this moment, in this particular instant, and just cast from there. So if you can notice something that's really smart, that's really like cool, that's happened with the news patch, that's about it. I mean, I don't think really casting new patches is that much different, except for the fact that you just get a whole bunch of new stuff to talk about.
Well, it's the same thing about like when a meta shift happens. Like
Yeah.
you have to be knowledgeable enough about the game to be able to talk about when something like this unpredictable happens. Like you just have to be able to like figure out what's going on and.
you have to run with it too. You have to say, okay, that's a thing. Tychus can actually bolt while in Odin, because that's probably the first. You know, we did cast the day of the patch, and
Yeah, exactly.
that
So,
was.
I mean,
we didn't expect that. You go with it. We saw it happen and we called it. It's like, okay, that happened. That's a thing. But I wouldn't say it's any different.
Yeah, no big deal. Arthur, what about you, man? Or Kubi, did you have anything to add to caster thing?
No, yeah, just got to pay a little bit more attention to some of the weird talents that get grabbed. And like the one that was jumping out at me was when they grabbed Searing Attack for the first time on Tychus. Like we're sort of like watching the meta for Tychus unfold, like in terms of how people are abusing Odin. And it was like Searing Attacks. That's got to be a mistake, right? And I was like, wait a minute, hold on a second, Odin. Oh, I see what you guys are doing there. And it's a lot of a learning process, but as long as you're like, your ego isn't getting to you where it's like I should know everything, like Kev was saying. Yeah, you're learning with the viewers and you're explaining to them like what probably is going on, like for thought process wise with the teams.
Because stuff like that wasn't in the patch notes. Like
Right.
that's we didn't know that was in the game, but that player did.
Arth, how do you dress as a player?
I love playing when there's a new patch because there's always new things to explore, new things to do. It can be a little disheartening if the changes made to like some heroes that you like to play or like some of the strategies you do doesn't work as well, and it can be sad seeing the patch kind of deteriorated the meta maybe a little bit, made it like less fun to play. But for the most part, there's just a lot of new things to discover, and it's like a breath of fresh air. You get to try out new stuff, and you get to have some fun in scrims instead of like, after a while you just do the same thing over and over again. So it's fun to try new stuff. It can suck playing on a tournament day. If like there's a new patch on the day you have like a big match, because you can get caught off guard by so many things.
For instance, yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately, that sometimes it happens.
Yep.
And I definitely think if there's something major in the future that's like, we can wait or something. So
Thank you, Sasky306, for the question. You are awesome.
What a guy.
Well,
Any others?
we are
We're
very
probably
low on
go
time.
to shoutouts since it's
Yeah,
10:50.
very low.
I guess it's that time.
It is. And Kevo, why don't you start us out with the shoutouts?
Sure. So I guess quick shout out to my employer MLG. They're giving me money to run a tournament on February 28th. It's going to be an open tournament. I'm going to open up the brackets, or I'm going to open up registration for it probably by the end of this week. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm thinking Jeff. Just Jeff. It's going to be a great tournament name.
Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
No, we're coming up with a name for it still because I'm bad at that kind of thing. But yes, it's going to be on February 28th. It's going to be a $2,500 prize pool tournament, which is going to be the single most, I think, tournament for a single day. It's going to be best of 3. It's going to be open. So I want everybody in the entire Heroes community, go find a team, go start practicing, go get ready for this tournament because it's going to be, I want it to be massive. I want a lot of people to play it.
So big, it's on the outside
just like your mom.
of his.
It's outside my. You do not say that about Bonnie. She is a saint. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm pretty excited about. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the next 2 weeks. And other than that, you can follow me on twitter.com/sham2 SCHAMTOO for details and information on that tournament for when it comes up.
Zoloff.
You guys can follow me at Tempo Zoya on Twitter and Zoya TV on Twitch. This Friday, I will be casting the Ding It Invitational with Mr. Solid Jake GG. Also, shout out to Tempo Storm and our wonderful sponsors, Twitch TV and Namecheap. Speaking of Tempo Storm, we play tomorrow in the ESL Major League versus Evil Geniuses, and then Friday we're also playing in the Ding It Invitational, so make sure you come and cheer us on in that. I am the manager, caster, coach thing for Tempo Storm, so I do all things Tempo Storm.
Coach thing.
With this Arthelon guy here.
So when you're going to have a business card, it's just going to say coach thing.
Coach
Tempo
thing.
Storm.
Coach thing.
Good. Very good.
Excellent.
And I think that's... there's no cuts this weekend, right? So I won't be casting that.
No, I was going to bring that up. So no cuts.
Yeah, Kubi, take it away.
Yes, no cots indeed. It is the day of love, so we cannot have cots apparently. It's just how it is.
The day of love.
See, Steve says no cots, so no casting that this weekend. But you can catch myself and Jake will be casting the ESL NA Major League tomorrow on twitch.tv/ESL_heroes. And you guys, of course, can follow me at the Kubi on Twitter.
Our beautiful guest, Arthelon.
Well, Zoe made this pretty easy. You can follow me at Tempo Arthelon. Unfortunately, I can't stream at the moment because my computer has a really bad graphics card. So probably be a while before I start doing that again. But my stream is at Twitch at Arthelon if you want to follow for the future. Shout out to my team. I love them all. You can follow basically all of us if you type in tempo. And then like you can basically you can basically see everyone from there if you like scroll down. And thanks for having me. A lot of fun.
Thanks for
Love
coming
you
on.
guys.
Yeah.
I love your casting. Love all that you do for the community. And keep it up.
What a guy. What a guy.
Covering all the bases. Jared mentioned the Ding Invitational, or the Ding It Monthly Championship is the more accurate title. We're going to put the link in there for the chat here. That's going on every Friday for the next 4 weeks, and then on March 13th and 14th, it's going to be bracket play. $1,600 in prizing. The qualification rounds are just 2 matches a night on Friday nights, so it's kind of like having the ESL Major League, but on Fridays. So that means you can watch cast with me and Kubi every Tuesday and Thursday, me and Jared every Friday, and then probably all 4 of us every Saturday. So a lot of Heroes of Storm action coming up with all those tournaments, and there's more in the pipeline, so you guys stay tuned. With all that, big exciting thing for me, I'm switching over my personal stream to be more of a daily show format. Very Day 9 inspired. It's going to be very analytical, very going over replays. You guys submitting replays for me to go over. Still kind of mapping out what kind of days we're going to do for the dailies. I have no idea what the dailies are going to be called. That's going to be Tuesday through Friday every week at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be very much a YouTube series. That's what's coming up for me. Follow the Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Solid Jake GG, or Jack Egg if you prefer.
I have one more shout out. Shout out to this guy down here for keeping his beard on the entire show.
What
Shout
guy?
out to you as well. One of these ways.
And a big shout out to all of you, as next week is our 1-year anniversary on Town Hall Heroes. So with our 1-year anniversary, our 51st episode, we're giving away 51 beta keys.
51 hype.
51 beta keys, and that's a lot of beta keys to give away in one night. Blizzard has given us a bountiful quantity of beta keys to give away for the evening. And thank you, Blizzard, for all the beta keys. We do sincerely appreciate it, and we're looking forward to an excellent 1-year anniversary. And that's going to do it for us here on Town Hall episode number 50. Arthelon, thank you once again. And gentlemen,
Thank you.
until next time.